Flat Track, and we have a great crowd on hand. These fans sure are in for a good show. One of the biggest differences of this mile is the black pea gravel. We're not used to seeing that shade of dirt here at American Flat Track, but the texture is very similar to the Lima half mile, which always puts on a great show. Speaking of great shows, our last outing at the Minnesota Mile, we saw a very unexpected finish, and we might see another one here tonight. A lot of unknowns for these riders, but one thing that they do know is that the championships are already locked up, so they're just looking to go out there and get the final win of the season.
Yes, thank you, Heather. Gloves are off for this one. Take us through this racetrack, Ralph.
Well, it's a wide racetrack, 90 feet wide, and you can see that black surface. Talking to some of the riders, they say kind of a granite feel to the stones and the marbles that you see here getting kicked up. And one thing is for sure, that roost, it's gonna hurt tonight.
All right, let's check in with Heather one last time before we go racing.
Well, Jason, we're here at the Meadowlands Mile presented by Ducati, and I have one of their riders with me now, Stevie Bonzi. Stevie, we're here in New Jersey. New York City's right across the way from us. A lot of eyes on this sport and this event. What does it mean for not only you as a rider, but Ducati to be presenting this event today?
For me, every race means a lot, you know, but for Ducati, it's big. They sponsored this racetrack. We got to go to a party in Manhattan, which was really cool, a Ducati dealership, and we had a good time. And I see coming out of turn 4 over there, all the Ducati fans, so it makes it really special. You know, it gives me that little extra to try a little bit more than I normally would, I guess. So yeah, it's really neat.
The Ducati motorcycle is very unique, different from any other twins that you see out here. Describe this motorcycle for the fans.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a lot different. Me and Shoemaker are fortunate enough to get to ride that bike this weekend. It's a 821 Monstrada, and it's a little unique. Unfortunately, I haven't had much seat time on it due to an accident that I had in Texas Motor Speedway. So as we're going on through these last races through the year, I'm developing it and learning more and more. And we're going faster and faster, and it's unfortunate that the season's over because I'm just starting to get comfortable on the motorcycle, and I'm starting to click with the team, and everything's going great.
Well, thank you for your time, Stevie. That's Stevie Bonzi. He's going to be putting on a show here for the Ducati fans in New Jersey.
Well, thanks, Heather. Let's see how he does. We'll take you through the storyline. Some qualifying racing earlier today. A good battle in heat race number 1. Briar Bauman getting around Henry Wiles. Bauman has been rallying as of late, so not a huge surprise to see him win. J.D. Beach, the road racer, great job finishing up in 3rd. Similar story we've seen all year. Jared Mees out front, heat 2.
Yeah, but you know, recently he hasn't been as dominant as he has been. It's kind of nice to see him get back to that really strong performance, maybe finish out the season with some strength. Watch these two guys, Jason. Yeah. Coolbath, 3 championships on that number 2. Johnson, 2 championships on number 5. Kenny obviously retiring. These two have battled for years. Good buddies, having a little fun at speed down the backstretch.
And the win in that one would go to Brian Smith, who won our last race in Minnesota. And watch Sammy Halbert here on the inside, the orange helmet, just able to make a pass to sneak his factory Harley-Davidson into the main event. Taking the final transfer spot, Smith keeps rolling with the victory. All right, so we are in a New York state of mind. You see MetLife Stadium on the other side of the property. That's where the NFL's Giants and Jets play. But who's going to be singing New York, New York when this one is over? Jared Mees would like his 11th win in the season, but a whole lot of riders have been surging as of late, looking to take him down. And our singles class coming your way also. Shayna Texter looking for a win at this inaugural Meadowlands Mile by Ducati. Stay with us. American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Harley-Davidson, the official motorcycle of AFT Twins. And by American Flat Tracker Clothing Company. Find your groove at AmericanFlatTracker.com. And by Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. Check out the point standings in our singles class of American Flat Track. Dan Bromley has already wrapped up the title. Ryan Wells has clinched 2nd. The real battle, Shayna Texter and Colby Carlisle, 1 point between them for 3rd. Here they are.
Minnesota Mile, you know, we felt good all day. We fast qualified, won the heat, won the main. We had a bit of an issue with an electric problem in the main event, but we were able to win. Something up above wanted us to win.
In Minnesota, you know, I won my heat race. Felt really strong on the bike all day. It's just the starts were really tough for me. I kept spinning off the line on top. It was kind of a hard surface with a little bit of marbles on top, and I just really couldn't get a grip off the line. But other than that, I felt strong, so that gave me confidence leading into the next round for sure.
I'm happy that we're at a mile. If I get 3rd or 4th in the championship, it's not a huge issue to me because I've learned so much this year, and I'm so happy with how everything's progressed. And obviously, we're going to go for the race win today.
I mean, it's simple. I just got to beat him tonight. That's it. You know, we've had 2 season-long battles following last year. You know, he came out on top, and I'm hoping this year I can come out on top of him. As far as 2019, I plan on running the same team deal. Just don't have a manufacturer commitment yet, but I'll be out here with Shayna Texter Racing going strong. I'm inking up a deal with Essence and Racing to be on a AFT Twins class Yamaha for the next few years, and I'm more than excited for that. You know, I'm finally stepping up to the premier class, and this is where I want to be. This is where I want to win the championship, and it's the next big step in my life, and I have a great team behind me doing it.
We'll show you our storylines, the qualifying races in singles. It's what mile racing is all about, the battle off the last corner on the last lap. Jesse Janisch has the lead. Carlisle, the number 1, able to overhaul him using the draft. And the Flying Tomato is flying into the main event. Jordan Harris, Andrew Luker right behind them. Heat race number 2, Ryan Wells leads. Great battle between he and Tristan Avery. Also Cameron Smith right down the line. Avery's charge, too little too late. Wells holds on to take the win on his Honda. So we go to heat race number 3. Shayna Texter able to outduel this year's singles class champion Dan Bromley, Tanner Dean 3rd. So we have a whole host of riders in contention to take the win tonight. It was great racing in those heats. We'll start out with Dan Bromley here. Yep, got the little number 1 because that's the number he will run next year as he's already clinched 2018 title. Carlisle will run the number 1 for the final time as last year's champ, but he's won several races this year, always a contender, and especially in the miles, Shayna Texter is tough to beat. He's won 2 races already this year. Here's your starting lineup. Also got to watch for Ryan Wells. All season long, singles class has provided great racing.
Boy, it sure has, and some of our best. I think the one thing about Bromley is he's been super consistent on every style of racetrack, and we've got another one here tonight. This surface is really unlike anything else we've raced on this year.
And mile racing, always spectacular. It often comes down to the last turn of the last lap. So we'll see what happens here. The Meadowlands mile is underway.
Boy, look at the slipping and sliding as they come out of the blocks.
Yeah, Tristan Avery on that 16 all over the place. Slicing to the inside is Ryan Wells, battling it out with the number 1 of Carlisle. Wells on the 94 into the number 1 position.
Well, this is a really wide racetrack, but look at how narrow the groove is. You can see it's such a different color already from the rest of the racing surface.
And 3rd place is Shayna Texter on that 52. Wells and Carlisle going at it for the lead, and Bromley in 4th. So 4 big hitters, 4 riders that have all won races this year, duking it out, and Carlisle takes the lead.
Boy, look at that roost getting cooked up, Jason. It really, when you talk to the riders, say, boy, you don't want to be right in the thick of it. It hurts.
And look at how many lines we have in this corner. No one has figured out the absolute best way to get through yet. They're experimenting in every inch of this track. Bromley able to make some moves. He's up to 3rd now. Tanner Dean also in the mix. Same thing with Texter, but right now it's Carlisle ahead of Wells.
Now, one thing you can do to help yourself with that roost is move. You don't have to move far, but just a little bit. Problems here for Andrew Luker.
Oh, man. So he is out of this race. And meanwhile, you got to watch this 132 of Jesse Janisch. Saw him go to the inside, go from about 5th to 2nd in one corner. Janisch known as a specialist on the shorter tracks and the TTs, but he has picked up his game in the miles this year, and he's showing it as he holds off Bromley and Wells. Running that low line and making it work.
Yeah, except for a race leader. He's way upstairs.
So 2 different ways to get it done out here. Carlisle going to stick to the high line. I love the different lines here. Got to watch for the 38 making his move.
Well, it's just about 5 wide going into that corner.
And Wells now able to overhaul Tanner Dean on that 38. So he's back to 2nd. Probably the 4th time he's been in that spot. Here comes Bromley on the outside.
Well, and Shayna right up the inside. And one of the reasons why you want to fan out going into those corners is to get away from that roost a little bit. You don't have to go far, but just off the hip of the guy in front of you, or the gal, there's a case with Shayna, but then you can tuck right back in coming down the straightaway. The good news is when you fan out like that, this track is so wide and the surface so racy, there's plenty of traction.
Oh, this is spectacular. 4 wide as they come into the corner. Texter running the bottom on the 52, trying to slice underneath Wells. Dean running it around the outside. This is a fantastic race, but for 2nd with Carlisle trying to get away. Let's welcome a couple more riders into the battle. It's nearly back to the top 10 right now in a fight.
What I'm really surprised is with them running in that tight pack like that, especially down the straightaways, that they haven't been able to reel in Colby.
Yeah, they're taking time away from each other trying to make these passes. If Colby can stay far enough ahead where they can't get in his draft, he might be able to check out. So that's the job right now for the number 1 on the Estenson Yamaha. Texter has settled that battle for second at the moment. Let's see if she can try to run the leader down.
Well, let's see if they all start working together a little bit. A third of the race is already in the books.
15 laps here in New Jersey. Texter starting to pull away from Dean Wells. Good battle behind them with Bromley in that mix. Also got Max Whale, the Australian, on the green Kawasaki. He has made a name for himself the last couple of rounds, mixing it up with the leaders, and he's in this fight again. You see him down to the inside with the green helmet. Anyone's race, though, right now, but you can see, Ralph, a determined charge. Texter is starting to close.
Yeah, again, I'm surprised she's able to pull away from the rest of these guys with Tanner Dean holding back Ryan Wells and the rest from third.
All right, let's send it to Heather with an update on Texter.
Well, guys, the crowd just went wild as we were watching Shayna Texter catch the leader, Colby Carlisle. Now, if you remember, only 1 point separates them in the point standings, and Shayna really wants to hang on to that third place to close out the season. When I spoke to her earlier, she said this mile is different. Unlike any other, you have to ride that 450 wide open. And, guys, remember, she is still looking for that mile win this season. We'll see if she can get it done.
Yeah, nobody's really lifting here. Look at her close in.
That's not lifting. That's going for the lead, and she's got it. So it took about 3 laps for her to reel Carlisle in. It took virtually no time for her to figure out how to make the passing. Oh, Colby almost threw it away on the outside.
Yeah, he bobbled a bit in there, and that's going to allow her to open up a couple of bike lengths of a gap between herself and Colby.
And then that furious pack continues to rage behind them. So impressive that Texter on that Husqvarna was able to break through from that field, pull away, go after the leader. Let's see what Carlisle can do. And whew, another mistake.
Yeah, boy, Colby bobbled again, but he's able to hang on to second for now.
Hey, all year he has said, I'm going to be more aggressive this year and go for wins instead of points. The opportunity is right in front of him. Texter and Carlisle going to take it down to the wire. It's the Meadowlands Mile presented by Ducati. Great racing throughout this field in flat track singles. Battle for third, it's out of control. Tanner Dean, Ryan Wells, Bromley, Whale, they are all in on it, but that's only for third. Up front, you have Shayna Texter, who has taken the lead from Colby Carlisle. Let's keep focused on this fight for the podium. It's a good one. Tanner Dean in the 38, trying to work the inside. Sent to Heather with an update on Bromley.
The number 62 of Dan Bromley is our current champion in the singles class for 2018. When I spoke to him earlier, he said he felt really comfortable on the bike today. The only thing they changed for this main event is they put a fresh rear tire on. But he told me his goal is to get yet another podium this season. The riders he's currently racing, there's some tight battles going on. It's going to be tough, but we'll see if he can get another podium here in 2018.
Well, for the moment, he was able to get in front of that pack. We'll see how long it lasts. Back to the leaders, though. Look at this. Colby Carlisle is right back there and takes the lead away from Texter.
Well, he's able to work that draft, carry that speed, but look at how much speed she's got in the corner. Through the center of the corner, she was better.
And now she's going to drift a little high because of all that speed she carried. Let's see if she can beat him off of turn 4. Yes. Now let's see if she can prevent him from drafting by. No, it looks like Carlisle's going to make the pass. Classic mile strategy here.
Well, let's see how good she is in the center of 1 and 2, and she's good here too. That's going to be the advantage for her as this winds down. Sure, Colby can dive in deeper into the corner, but she seems to be able to get the drive coming through the center, and that would be the one you need to get to the checkers first.
But it puts Carlisle in position. Sometimes second out of the corner is the place you want to be. They are fighting for it right now. Outside line attempt from Texter to try to reclaim the lead, and it works. So she's able to go wherever she needs to on the corners. But on this front stretch, when the checkered flag unfurls, who's going to be in the right position? What a race.
Boy, she is good. Good inside, good outside. I think she's got the better of him at this point. Even though he's good at the far end of the straightaway, I think she's good for the first half, and that's all you need to get to the checkers.
So here we go, back stretch. Texter over Carlisle there in full tuck, trying to get as aerodynamic as they can. Does Carlisle have a line picked out either in the corner or coming out of it onto the straightaway? Can he launch an attack? He held the lead for the first half of the race. He also made a move on the front stretch to win his heat race on the last lap. So he's got some strategy tucked away. Is Texter gonna stop him or not? Here we go into the white flag. He tried it. Was that a full effort from Carlisle, or you think he might be laying in wait?
Well, let's see if he tries to run deep into the corner. Is that a little smoke coming off of his bike, or is it just, it looks like he's smoking a little bit, whether it's the tire or something else. Here he comes.
Hey, last lap, last race of the year, run it till it blows. He's on the outside. How is Texter gonna play it? This is what we expected to see. It's gonna be side by side coming out of turn 4. Texter able to sweep back by from the inside. Carlisle, full send mode out of that corner. Now, he sets her up for the draft. It's gonna be a race right down to the line. And it's gonna be Texter. Unbelievable, she actually fought back. You see Bromley claim the 3rd place spot from that great battle all the way to the end. I thought Carlisle had it. Somehow Texter was able to overcome him despite the draft. He got the lead.
Yeah, but it looked like she almost did a bit of a NASCAR side draft as they came down the front straightaway just to get a little bit more of a oomph. And I'm telling you, she was really good off the corner. He might have ended up having her passed again by the time they got to 1, but she didn't have to worry about it. Look at how good she is through the center of the corner. He bobbled one more time, as did she. And right there was another little wiggle. He makes the run by, and then she finds another gear at the line.
Rarely do you see a repass. Let's send it to Heather.
Shayna Texter wins here at the Meadowlands Mile. Shayna, 3rd win of the season, 1st on a mile. But talk about that finish. Tough battle all the way throughout that race.
Oh my God, to lead that many laps and then all of a sudden 5 to go, here comes the flying tomato. And man, I had to work for that one. I really thought, you know, coming off at 4, I spun it up a little bit more than I wanted to give him that run. And man, we went across the line, literally banging elbows and bars, trying to fight for that win, because it wasn't, you know, it's not just a win. There's the points battle, 3rd place, and the points was on the line as well. So we secured 3rd place, and man, what a season to get a win for Husqvarna on the mile to end of the year, going into the off season. I'm stoked.
And that also means she will edge Carlisle for 3rd in the points, so he's got to be bummed on that. She did move over. They battled hard down that stretch. You could tell how much this race win and that 3rd of the standings meant to the two of them. There is your entire field here for the Meadowlands Mile. Let's hear from Carlisle.
Finishing a very close 2nd there in that main event is Colby Carlisle. Colby, you were so close. I know you wanted that win bad. Is there anything that you could have done differently there at the end?
No, you know, I wanted to draft her low coming off of 4, but I ran out of room. I ran up on her too quick, so I had to go high. And, you know, I actually ran my clutch lever into her arm. We got super tight, and she ran a great race. You know, we both did. It's super bittersweet that I wasn't able to beat her and, you know, clinch 3rd in the points today. But what can you do? It was one hell of a race, and I think the fans loved it, and it's one great race for my last singles.
Well, that explains it. You hit the clutch lever. Loses drive just for a moment. That allowed her to get back ahead. Here are your final series standings. As we mentioned, Bromley and Wells already had 1st and 2nd sewn up. And Bromley, he ended the year the way he likes to start it, podiums.
We were able to come back and be up top 5-ish and working for 3rd. And then Shayna got me and I was 4th. And then I kind of got stuck in the back and just worked my way back to about 7th. We're going in there hard, and then everybody fans out. And then when you're the odd man out, you're kind of limbo. So I was happy to be able to regain myself to end the season with 13 podiums, all on different tracks. You know, I was able to win 3 different events and be the only rider to make every main event is definitely an accomplishment in my book. And I can't thank you guys enough for coming out here, the whole crowd at Meadowlands, and AFT for putting on a great event.
From here, we transition back to the Twins division, which for the 2nd year in a row was dominated by the Factory Indian Wrecking Crew. We'll go behind the scenes with them, and then we'll check in with Kenny Coolbeth, racing his last pro race tonight. American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Indian Motorcycle. Be legendary. By E3 Spark Plugs, the official spark plug of AFT. And by Vance & Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Twins. We are back. It's the Meadowlands Mile presented by Ducati. We're getting ready for our Twins main event. But first, let's send it to Heather in the Dunlop Tire Tech Tip.
For tonight's main event, the riders are on the R8, which is the softer of the two compounds provided by Dunlop on the mile tracks. What they are going to do, though, is that they're going to flip that tire so they have a sharper edge on the inside of the tire to give them more grip when they get on the cushion, and also to make the tire last through this 25-lap main event.
Thanks, Heather. The last 2 seasons of American Flat Track dominated by Indian, and at the very top, Jared Mees, who's won back-to-back titles. Let's learn more about that program.
I think what we're doing here is really important to Indian motorcycle. Our whole history is about winning. Our brand was formed by 2 racers that met at a racetrack, and they were very successful. They went out and won many national championships. They won the Isle of Man. Winning really has an important legacy in the brand, and the way we've come back with 2 back-to-back championships speaks to that.
It has been an incredible 2-year run now that Mees is on the factory Indian.
Jared is a true champion. I mean, I've never met anyone that works so hard every day to do one thing, and that's win. A lot of it's him and just his attitude and what he's done to prepare himself. And also, I would say the team that he's put around him is the best in the sport. Our goals in coming back to flat track were to help build the sport, number 1, to grow the sport of motorcycling, to give back. But number 2, we wanted to be champions. We didn't think they would, come this fast, but our goal next year is to win another championship. Competition's gonna be coming for us, so we're gonna work hard in the off season to make sure we're ready. 2019 is a big year for us. Right now we're celebrating Jared's championship, but by the end of the year, we'll be announcing 2 new riders in complement to Jared. We signed Jared to another 2 years. He is the best in the sport, and we want to stay with the best, and Jared's happy running in Indian. He's had pretty good luck with us, so we're going to stick with Jared and celebrate his 2 championships for now, but by the end of the year, we'll be announcing 2 new riders.
And as new riders come in, unfortunately, one is calling it a career. Kenny Coolbeth's last race is tonight.
Not only is it the last round of the season, it is the final round of your career, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. You had to sit out the last race, but we're here at a new venue in New Jersey. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts and your expectations going into today.
I just want to I want to be on the podium, if not win the thing. That's my goal. That'd be the icing on the cake. I feel pretty good for a cushion track. I feel pretty good. It's the track's kind of coming to me, so it's been a good ride, that's for sure. And I owe it to a lot of people. I've been around forever, and just want to do the best I can today. And like I said, I want to be on the box for sure.
We last interviewed you at Springfield. We asked you about where your emotions are at, but now we're here. It is actually the last race. So where are your emotions at in this moment?
They're not that bad. It's my wife's been kind of more emotional than me and my family, but me, like I said, I'm just kind of concentrating on the race mostly. But it's in the back of my head. It's like everybody knows. It's all I've done. For 25 years. So it's bittersweet. It's going to be a different life change, but I'll be around watching these guys sling some dirt, so it's good.
That's Kenny Coolbeth looking to go out on top and be on top of the box tonight here at the Meadowlands Mile.
Well, it's certainly possible. He has been quick all year long. When we return, we're going to go into the factory race shop for Vance and Hines, who builds the Harley-Davidson flat track machines. So a really interesting tour there. And then we're going to drop the flag for the last time and go racing here in New Jersey. Back here at American Flat Track in the shadows of New York City, where a lot of big business gets done. But on the flat track side, Indianapolis is home to the Harley-Davidson factory team.
Hey everybody, welcome to Brownsburg, Indiana, home of the Vance and Hines Harley-Davidson factory flat track team. We got the hauler behind us, the assembly area behind us, and this is where all the action happens.
So what ends up happening is a lot of guys see the guys out on the racetrack, the racers out there going around in circles, and a crew guy working on their bike, and they think, oh, that's the team. Well, really and truly, that's nowhere close to the team. At the shop, you have machinists, you have engineers, you have dyno guys, you have engine guys, truck drivers. I mean, it's a big program.
So with our American Flat Track program, we have 2 haulers that maintain 3 full-time factory riders, Sammy Halbert, Brandon Robinson, and Jared Vanderkoy. After a race weekend, we'll bring the bikes back. We wash them, completely disassemble them down to the bare frame, check everything over, replace anything that needs to be replaced. go back together with a fresh motor. Typically the motors will get tore all the way down, split the cases, check for rod bearings, crank bearings, and then reassemble.
Here we are in the factory team hauler. We keep all of our parts, pieces, gas, oil, shocks, electronics, hard parts, forks, everything you need to go racing with a factory flat track team. We couldn't do it without this hauler being at the track.
Because of the success of our drag racing programs, we won 9 championships in 12 years. Now I think we're going on 20 years total with the drag race program. It was kind of a natural segue to get involved in flat track. As far as Vance and Hines and Harley Davidson are concerned, we're really just partners. They contract us to do the platform for the building of all the bikes, structuring the team, contracting the riders, and making sure that the team and the program goes forward. As you look around the shop, you can see that we have a state-of-the-art facility. I mean, it rivals just about any NASCAR shop in the country. So we can do anything we need to do as far as making parts and pieces. Making the right parts and pieces is the hard part. The interesting thing about AFT is that when we got involved 4 or 5 years ago, it was pretty much a grassroots sport. There was one factory team and he was racing out of a box van, and now you see that things are really starting to go. So it's going to be really interesting here in the years to come.
And there is one of the factory Harley riders, the 44 of Brandon Robinson. So we'll see if he can put the orange and black up toward the front in this. There's Jared Mees, won 10 of the first 12 races this year, but 4 races now have gone by since he's won another. There's Brian Smith, who won our last race in Minnesota, but only because Mees and Briar Bauman's machine, they both broke while running 1-2 in that. So all kinds of momentum shifts in this series as of late. Bauman's been strong, Smith has been strong, but Mees is the champ. Certainly can't count him out. Should be great racing tonight.
It should be, and this is a big, fast mile. So one thing that's going to come into play is fuel strategy.
Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to go racing 25 laps. Bauman on the inside of the 14. Doesn't get a very good jump. Mees has been so strong off the starts all year long, but it looks like the 4 of Brian Smith into the lead and going to grab that K&N Whole Shot Award.
Boy, look at that roost.
Yeah, the Twins can really sling it compared to what we just saw from the singles division. So it's Mees and Smith, 2 old rivals. They've had many a classic duel on a mile track. It's a new facility for AFT here, but more things change, the more they remain the same when you see the 4 and the 1 dueling out front. Chad Coase is in 3rd.
Well, you can see all of the tear-offs floating around, especially down the back straightaway. Not only does this roost hurt, but on this misty night, you can see it on our camera lens, when that roost gets on your visor, it doesn't really go anywhere. It just sits there. And if you wipe it, then it smears. So the guys will be getting rid of those tear-offs, but how many can you go through?
Yeah, you can only put so many on there before it starts really impeding the vision. So that's a real strategy game. Kenny Coolbeth on that number 2, we've been talking about it, his last race as a professional, in 4th place right now, gunning for a podium. He's dueling with the 17 of Henry Wiles, the 14 of Briar Bauman, Chad Coase in the 49 just ahead. Brian Smith continues to lead on number 4.
Well, Jason, I talked about fuel strategy. In talking with Brian Smith and Ricky Howerton, that group, they're running the smaller gas tank on their bike. You can run a smaller one or a bigger one. This mile runs more like a speedway motorcycle race, and the fact that you're just wide open all the way around. So we've got Smith running the smaller tank, wide open all the way around. He could be 2 laps or more short on fuel if he doesn't conserve a little bit.
Ooh, hard to do that when you're in the lead. Let's send it to Heather.
One of the challenges right now in this main event for the riders is visibility. I got a chance to catch up with the 17 of Henry Wiles prior to this main event, and he was actually adding extra tear-offs to his helmet. He said that because of the mist out here, it makes it very hard to see even when you're by yourself. He said it's like running 120 miles per hour on the freeway with no windshield wipers. Not only that, the dirt immediately sticks to those tear-offs, so these riders are going through them quickly, and it makes it challenging for them to not only see the riders around them, but the track as well.
And again, like we were saying, you'll move just a little bit off the hip of the guy in front of you, let that stuff go by. You want to probably tuck to the inside because that roost is going to kick to the outside.
Well, you can just see the front number plates of these bikes as Jeffrey Carver and Wiles here duke it out. And remember how covered the front of the bikes are. That means the helmet visor will be covered like that as well. Man,
look
Brian
at that.
Smith, rough ride.
And you can just see how much he's kicking up back at Jared. Now, talking about that fuel tank again. Smith went with the smaller tank in the heat races and qualifying, and the problem is once you qualify the bike with the smaller tank, that's what you've got to race. The officials don't want you putting the smaller tank on for an advantage during qualifying and then the bigger tank for the race. Mies, on the other hand, is running the bigger tank, so he's going to have the advantage on fuel.
And at our last race, Briar Bauman appeared to have the win in hand, and he ran out of fuel. We say fuel strategy here. We don't mean pit stops like in NASCAR. You fill it, you go.
No, but the problem Smith has right now is he's trying to figure out, I've got to buy myself a lap or two of fuel somewhere. So instead of running like right here, he's probably not afraid to let Jared go by right now, because now he can tuck in behind him, avoid that roost, and instead of having to run 100% wide open, he can run it 85 to 90% wide open, close in just like this, and sit there. He's got a long way to go, and then he can battle hard again the final 5 or so laps to go. I was not surprised to see Brian do this. Figured he was going to do it. It was in their strategy. Now it's just a question of how long does he sit there, and does Mies know that's the problem Smith has?
Yeah, and I wonder, you think Ralphie could use that draft a little bit? He's going for the lead right now. Maybe Mies does realize it and says, no, I do not want you sitting back there in second, kind of inducing him into a battle right now. What's amazing is as these two play the strategy game, they are still pulling away from the rest of the field. That's how strong they are. Smith going for it. Wow. So Reed taking the lead from Mies. This is going to be so interesting. We do not know the cards that these riders want to play. In a normal strategy, heck, you try to get the lead and check out. But in a mile, especially if you're throwing in that fuel strategy, we do not know what these riders want to do.
Yeah, but see, look how easily he lets Jared get back by. So he's testing him, but he's also keeping mindful of his own strategy of what he knows he has to do here today. Mies, on the other hand, he's just flat out, and he can force the issue a little bit here too.
Yeah, he'd love to either suck Smith into a battle or just pull away while Smith is trying to conserve fuel. But again, they're doing all this while getting away from Bauman, who is in third. And a good battle behind Bauman. You saw Carver in there, Wiles. But right now, it is two masters of the game, two of the best in the business, especially on these mile tracks, trying to set each other up. Smith down to the inside again. He used this two laps ago.
Boy, if Jared could just pull away, he could really hurt Smith, because Brian just can't run that hard. You see how Brian ran deep in there, but he didn't hammer the throttle coming off. He just kind of let her run up in there and then let Jared get back in front of him.
Yeah, he's been able to get down low in every one of these corners, but again, we're wondering if he really wants to take the lead or not. He doesn't. So amazing, we talk about this every time we get to one of these mile tracks, that they can perform this type of strategy while dueling a couple inches away from each other at 100+ miles an hour.
Yeah, closing in, what, 130, 140 miles an hour? Two of the absolute best at it. And now we've got a third one sneaking into the frame here, too, to battle with these guys.
Yeah, Briar Bauman coulda, shoulda, woulda had 2 victories in a row coming into this one, except he didn't win the fuel strategy game at our last event. Let's see if he can close in. One last classic battle for our grand finale of American Flat Track season for 2018. Brian Smith on the 4, Jared Mies on the 1. Spent years battling each other for race wins and titles in this series. Mies has won the last 2 championships, Smith the year before that. And since Mies has already wrapped up this year's championship, there is nothing on the line except pride between these two to try to win here at the Meadowlands. Down to the inside goes Smith. He keeps showing Mies a wheel, but keeps not putting in a concerted effort to complete the pass.
Yep, watching that fuel gauge in his mind, right?
Yep, it's a long race, 25 laps. Ralph, you mentioned at the top of this race, Smith elected to go with a small fuel tank, so he cannot run wide open all the way around.
Yeah, and it's not a huge difference. If you looked at him close, the extension, when you talk to the riders and stuff, the top of the gas tank where you twist it open to pour the fuel in sits up a little bit higher, and that's where they are able to get a little bit more fuel in that bigger tank. It's a bit of an extension.
But just enough to probably make Smith nervous that he could run out down the stretch unless he conserves now. So
he gets way up there, doesn't he?
All the way up to that edge of the cushion for Mees, and it almost backfired on him. Smith still right there. They got a comfortable distance over third place, Briar Bauman. He's in a battle with Jeffrey Carver, Henry Wiles, J.D. Beach.
See, and this is the thing. Jared, as far as he knows, he keeps seeing and hearing, which is sometimes more important, that other bike right there, and he knows he has not been able to shake Brian yet. So he's got to go flat out here.
And Brian, another look to the inside. And another... Oh, he's not going to be able to yield this time. Mees goes too far wide, too far into the cushion, and like it or not, Brian Smith's in the #1 spot.
The boy, look at him come storming back.
Yep, and as you see on board here at Mees, we are suspecting that that's exactly the way Brian wants to play it. Every time he has a shot at the lead, he either doesn't take it or gives it right back. Mees, early in the season when he was at his absolute pinnacle, was able to dominate, even in these miles races, even with the drafting. He was able to pull huge gaps in the field. Not quite able to do it tonight.
No, the year he's still been strong all the way through the year, but just not as dominant. I don't know if they've slowed down a little bit or if the rest of the field has caught up a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe some of both.
Right. Once he wrapped up the title, it hasn't been quite the same. He's been in contention just like this, but we no longer see the giant gaps. Smith going to show him the inside again. And Mees able to shut him down. Ooh, that got really close if they crisscrossed center through the corner.
Jason, we've lost Bauman, but here comes Carver.
Yeah, and Carver, he was able to overhaul Mees at the very prestigious Springfield Mile earlier in the year. If he can bridge that gap, if Carver can get to these two while they're playing around for the lead, he could have the upset special. So don't count out the 23.
All right, we're inside, what, 5 to go now? So if that smaller tank is about 2.5 laps short of fuel, that means Smith's window is about to open when he can go for it. But where's Carver going to be at that point?
Yeah, he is definitely closing the gap. You can now see the third-place rider as Smith keeps working this inside line, and Mees able to edge him again coming off.
The other thing I'm surprised is that Jared hasn't moved down. He keeps going way up, and I know they're running wide open, but that bike of his doesn't seem to be as smooth up there. Look at how much more stable Brian's bike is out of that cushion than when Jared gets way up there.
Jared has given him the inside pretty much the entire race, so we'll see how he plays it. You would think for Smith it would seem like easy pickings for the lead, but maybe Mees will change it up when it counts as they continue to play the game of chess. Not going to be easy now, though, because Carver is continuing to close.
Yeah, this 23 laps here of 25 coming up. Yeah, this is wide open time now, and Smith slipped off that fourth corner. So he's going to have to forget about saving fuel at this point and start turning it up full throttle.
Yeah, because Carver and Bauman are there. You're getting closer and closer. Yep, there's third and fourth place. If these two keep playing the cat and mouse game, these next two are going to try to pounce. We're on to the backstretch. A perfect setup for a fantastic finish to a mile. Smith and Mees duking it out. Carver and Bauman trying to close. Will Smith try to actually take the lead this time? Whether he tried or not, he could not get it done. Mees holds him off.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's trying now. He just couldn't get it done there. And he can sense, we've seen him look over his shoulder. He knows Carver and Bauman are coming.
Another shot on the inside, and you can see Mees a little bit tighter now in the groove than he was earlier. It's going to be side by side coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, Jared squeezed him down a little bit, didn't he? And boy, Carver's on their exhaust pipe.
Okay, so now Carver and Bauman have an outside shot at it as well. A lap and a half to go for this season. Who will leave with the bragging rights? Who's going to win here in the shadow of the Big Apple? The inside line attempt again, but it's not nearly as effective for Smith now as Mees starts to pull away.
Boy, that really cost Brian, and here's Carver right in the mix. Smith is going to have to get moving.
He did everything he could just to hold on to that second place spot. It nearly backfired. Here we go, final lap. Can he get back to Mees' hip? He's been there all race long, but this time it's really going to count, and Mees doesn't want to let it happen.
Boy, Smith got a good run through the center of that corner, so now he's back in position. If he can get the spot going into 3 that he wants.
4 riders with a shot at it. Smith overtakes Mees down the backstretch. Mees is going to have to draft past around him. Can he get it done? We're coming off of turn 4. Carver's on the inside. So 2 riders with a shot at taking away. Smith all the way out in the cushion, trying to hook up. He's got a big enough lead. Let's see if anyone can pull it out. No! Brian Smith ends the season with back-to-back wins, and he outfoxed some of the best in the game to get it done here in the Meadowlands.
They all went as deep as they could into turn 3. As you see the results there, Bauman had a great view of everything taking place in front of him. It was really between the top 3 of Smith, Mees, and Carver to settle this one. Wait till you see the replay of this one. Here it is, that Motul move of the race. Smith shows the horsepower down the backstretch, gets the lead. They all run wide open into the corner and went way up into the cushion. Smith just didn't go as far up in there as Mees did, and Jared couldn't get the drive off the corner he needed. Here's where Smith gets into the cushion coming off of 4, and look at the gap at the line.
It's a leap of faith to believe he could lead him off. He did. Let's send it to Heather.
Brian Smith, your winner here at the Meadowlands Mile. Brian, win number 3. You're finishing out the season with 2 wins in a row on the mile tracks, which is what you wanted to do, but earlier you told me. 3 wins on the last 3 miles, 2 in a row, but you told me that this track is a flat track rider's dream. You dream about it at night. We can see why. What an amazing race. Tell us about the battle between you and Mees there.
Yeah, he was right there the whole time. I got by him early. He got back by me, and I was just following him. I said I want to wait till the end because I didn't want him to learn anything from me. I thought I was better than him, and I wanted to go when it counted, and that was the last lap. Jeffrey got in there and about screwed my plan up, but thankfully I knew if I passed him going into turn 3 on the last lap, he wouldn't have anything for me, and luckily it played out. And it was fun to sit behind Mees, you know, the guy who's been kicking everybody's butt the last couple of years, and essentially just think about when I was going to pass him. There's not very many times in my career I've been able to do that, so I'm thankful for it today.
Well, I do call Brian the master of the miles. For a while, Mees had the edge on everyone. The pendulum swings back in the direction of the number 4 tonight. American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Harley-Davidson, the official motorcycle of AFT Twins, and by American Flat Tracker Clothing Company. Find your groove at AmericanFlatTracker.com. And by American Flat Track, America's original extreme sport. Sunoco Go the Distance Award standings. It's final. Henry Wiles has totaled the most miles ridden in practice qualifying and racing this year. So good job by the number 17 to collect that Sunoco Go the Distance Award. Here are your final series point standings. Wiles also second to Mees. That's a career high for him. Bauman and Carver strong all season in the 3rd and 4th. Smith missed a lot of time and injury, still in the top 5. Let's talk to Jared.
Out of all the tracks we raced on this year, this was awesome to end it at this place. It was a old school dogfight duel. We were on the gas, stepped out sideways, and about 5-6 laps to go, and I'm like, man, I was able to draft him pretty easy and quick. I wonder if he could do the same. And I'm kind of thinking he was kind of holding back on me a little bit, but I didn't really want to let him lead just because I didn't have no tear-offs to spare. I was came in, I had nothing left, but awesome race. It was a lot of fun to do it and battle with him against that, and just a huge hats off to all my supporters, India Motorcycle and Rogers Racing SDI, for an amazing season, amazing career year, you could say at least. So I'm looking forward to next year already.
10 wins in 18 rounds for him. Here is our podium. Carver with a great charge from behind to finish up in 3rd. He'll be a contender next year as well. But this year was spectacular through and through, Ralph. It was a great one.
It really was. It was a legendary season for our champ, Jared Mees, a consistent season for our singles champion and Dan Bromley. But boy, there were some other guys that really make you look forward to 2019. Jeffrey Carver rode great. Smith has come on so strong here in the second half of the season. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to get to Daytona.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching all season long. For Ralph Shaheen and Heather DeBow, I'm Jason Wygant. We'll see you next year.
There's the old saying, you don't know how fast you can go till you fall down, and there's a lot of truth to that.
I'm doing a sport that I love, and we all know it can go bad. And when those times that it does go bad, you want to be safe.
Just looking at the helmet, looking at the craftsmanship, you can tell why it's the best helmet out there.
When I put the helmet on, I know that I have the best in the business on my head, and for me, I've been wearing a Rye helmet my entire career, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys.
Cycle Gear is a proud partner and the official retailer of American Flat Track. You'll find the latest and greatest gear from the brands you love, while getting professional service and advice from local gear experts at every Cycle Gear store. With over 140 stores nationwide, there's always a Cycle Gear just around the corner.
Gotham Motorcycles, located at 364 Bay Street in Staten Island. New York's premier dealership for Indian Motorcycle, Slingshot, and Royal Enfield. Open 7 days a week for all your motorcycle parts, accessories, and service needs. Since 1975, Bergen Harley in Rochelle Park, New Jersey has been the one-stop shop for Harley-Davidson motorcycles, service, parts and accessories, riding gear, and more. Bergen Harley-Davidson, we fulfill dreams of personal freedom.
Bronson Bauman can see the checkered flag. He's got it. First ever win in American Flat Track.
My goal was making mains, and now all of a sudden, you know, I'm not happy unless I'm on the podium. Really, the podiums don't even feel as good after I got my first win. The podiums taste good, but it's not that sweet taste of victory.
I can't believe I just won my first national. Man, it feels good.
I believe the last race I was outside the top 5 was at the Red Mile. So to be consistently in the top 5, you know, I think that's turned some heads, and I think people are starting to like me or something now, but I feel really good with the team and how I've been riding, and you know, I really think I've proved that, hey, I deserve this spot just as well as anyone.
We're looking at a Bauman Brothers 1-2 in their adopted home state. It's over, and the Bauman Brothers do it. They sweep it here at Williams Grove.
That was a wild one, you know. I didn't do so good in the semi. I started second row from the main event. And I was running inside the top 10 as 6th or so, and we had a red flag come out, and you know, I got an awesome start. I started running second, third, passed into second for Brian and I to get our first 1-2 finish together at the top of our game. So that may have been something that really opened Indian's eyes that, you know, these are who we want for next year. I've been in this class, in the Twins class, for now, this is my 4th year, and I haven't had the results. I've lost faith in myself that if I wasn't a good enough rider, just if I can really compete at this level. And you know, it's all back now, and I don't have those thoughts anymore. It's, all right, I'm running, you know, towards the front of these races at every weekend. I mean, I just podiumed Springfield Mount, so coming into this race where I took second last year behind my brother, the only exception is to beat him and win the race this year for me.
Flat track motorcycle racing. Just to recall what it was like in the beginning, let us take a quick look back at the turn of the century. It takes stout lads like them to go for this kind of competition. It's trials like this that have made the two-wheel little giant the tough piece of mechanism it is today. Take a look at this motorcycle.
Each of today's races draws large crowds from all over the country.
It's a revolution. Testing and bettering, testing and perfecting. Right up, cowboy.
The wave of the future.
You got a good start anyway.
Yeah, and we'll see how hot I was the whole time.
Every chance I get to race, I enjoy it.
What will you do? How hard are you willing to go? Will you let fear win? Or will you rise?
Big one for Jared Mead.
And find victory.
Shayna Hexter takes the win.
It changes the way we look at racing.
Good evening, everyone. Who's ready for some motorcycle racing in the Meadowlands? Make some noise! Now, you guys got to get louder than that. We're not at work. We're not at school. I said, who's ready for some motorcycle racing? All right, this is opening ceremonies. Welcome out to the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys Meadowlands Mile. It's the second time ever we've raced a Grand National Flat Track race in the state of New Jersey. It is time for opening ceremonies right now, ladies and gentlemen. Up first, we'll bring up the man responsible to make this event happen, the COO of AFT Events. Please welcome Cameron Gray.
Cameron, welcome out here to opening ceremonies. We've had a little bit of a rough day, but we're getting the ball rolling right now.
Yeah, no, just a big shout out to our title sponsor, Law Tigers, and Russ Brown, that's right. Sorry about that. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to Jason Settlemore and all his people here at Meadowlands. They've been awesome to work with. The track prep crew has been awesome. Thank you guys for hanging in there for us today. It's going to be a great night of racing. And again, a big shout out to AFT and AFTE for all we do behind the scenes.
What a beautiful facility and a great night of racing here in store. Tell me one thing. Are we going to come back next year?
Yeah, I think you're going to talk to a guy coming up here next after me, and I think we put a little deal together to come back again. It's a great facility. This is where we want to be. The track's great. They're great to work with. Yeah, I love this place.
All right, well, have a good night, and thanks for coming up here at opening ceremonies.
Thank you.
There is the COO of AFT Events. That was Cameron Gray. Up next is the COO and General Manager of the Meadowlands Racing Entertainment. Please welcome Jason Settlemore. Jason, welcome up. This is your home right here, so I don't have to say welcome to you, but thanks for having us out here. How's that?
Well, thanks for having us back, or you guys coming back here again this year. It's been fantastic. I've actually been around the AFT since my days at Scioto Downs, so I've been working with your crew for quite a long time.
I thought your face looked awful familiar. You got an AFT shirt on, so you fit right in.
Absolutely. I got this last year from Cameron, and so it's a nice shirt.
We got an exciting event happening. A lot of vendors and a lot of folks from all over the place come just here just to watch this race tonight.
Yeah, this is a fantastic race. You guys got a great organization. We're happy to have you back here for a second year. We look forward to having you back here next year. I know Cameron kind of pushed that over to me, but looks like you're going to be able to circle your calendar for Saturday, September 19th of 2020 right here at the Meadowlands for the Meadowlands Mile.
Write that down, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back here September 19th next year. Thanks for coming out here, and thanks for having American Flat Track as our season finale right here in the Meadowlands.
Thanks for having us back and coming back out here, too.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the COO and General Manager of Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment. That's Jason Settlemore. Now up next is some very important people. This is the rookies of 79. This is Charlie Roberts. And Charlie, the whole gang is here. All the rookies are here.
Scotty, we got the band back together. We haven't all been together since our 35th reunion. This is the 40th class reunion of the rookie class of 79. It's hard to believe it's been 40 years since we were all rookies, but I can't thank Wayne, Scotty, Ronnie, Jackie, and Tommy enough for doing all that we do to try to help the injured riders, and we're really honored to have Wayne here.
Well, absolutely. We'll talk to Wayne in just a second. He's our Grand Marshal, but man, this is really cool. I remember about 10 years ago at Indianapolis, we took a picture. And a lot of you racers, look, these fast guys all on both sides of you, man. How do you hang out such cool company?
I had to work hard for it because I couldn't keep up with them on the racetrack.
Well, there's some fast guys. Ronnie, you were actually tried to race today, but the bike you were riding actually let go. So are you done? Are you done racing? You've made a main event in 5 different decades. You know, next year it could be 6 decades you can make a main event in.
Yeah, Scotty, I'm done for 2019.
That's good. I like it. He leaves it open for next year. Scotty Parker, you're a member of this class right here, the winningest rider in American Flat Track history. Thanks for coming out here. You guys Scotty Parker fans up there? So, we having fun yet?
Oh, yeah, we always have fun. You know, it's great to be an honor, a part of this package that we put together and help these injured riders. You know what? We love what we do, and we always need a little help. And it's only not comes from us, but it comes from all you fans that help us out week in and week out. Throw a $5 bill here, buy a helmet, or buy something that come from these guys that race their butts off every week. And it's really cool and a great honor to be a part of something that really become really great help for needed people at the times when they're really down.
Absolutely. Thanks for what you do, Scotty. Also over here, Tommy Dummy. Tommy, you're a sponsor of this series and a part of the Class 79, so 2 honors at once.
Absolutely. You know, it's great to be able to give back with our championship rings, to be part with Tom Duma Fine Jewelers, but it's even a greater honor to be able to hang out with these guys and to have cut my teeth racing with the likes of this great group that's here.
Absolutely. The only one that's missing is John Winsowich. We'll move over here. Jackie Mitchell. Man, you said you're one of the slow guys, but I don't think there's a slow guy in the bunch.
When you're around these guys, it's very humbling. I can say that, Scotty.
Yeah, it certainly is. You can still ride a bull taco really strong. We saw that at Springfield.
It's been a real pleasure to do that, and of course it's for the benefit of the charity, the Bultaco Invitational Series that we've put together, and so it's very exciting, and we're always really happy when AFT invites us to run with you guys.
All right, and last but definitely not least, ladies and gentlemen, you might recognize this guy to my left. He is our Grand Marshal tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Wayne Rennie, the 3-time 500 World Champion. Wayne, it's awesome that you come out to the races. You're the president of Moto America. Your season wrapped up last weekend. Welcome back to Flat Track.
Yeah, this is great. It's a blast being here with my brothers, and I got to watch a little bit of practice, and I already started missing it and remembering it. But I can't believe it's been 40 years since we were rookies. 10 years ago, we started this at the Indianapolis Mile, and this is our 10-year anniversary. And Charlie, that runs the charity for us, has raised $2.3 million. So we want to thank the fans for that.
That is incredible for sure. You guys help out any riders that get hurt in flat track, but especially right here in American Flat Track, and we really appreciate it. And we really need some support right now. We've had a kind of a tough year, but man, we appreciate everything you do. And congratulations on being our Grand Marshal here today.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, racing's dangerous, you know, but this is a sport that we all love. It just gives us good vibes, and watching these racers out there giving us the show, we got to back them, and this is the way that we can help. We're just paying it back.
All right, Wayne, we appreciate what you do. We also have a special announcement. Let me step up here to Charlie Roberts, and this beautiful motorcycle is coming out here. This is Gary Gray from Indian Motorcycle. Charlie, tell me some news. Tell me what's going on.
We're going to let Gary dump the secret.
All right, I had him on the podcast Off the Groove earlier this week, and we got a secret. He said we're going to talk about it right here. This is a brand new Indian FTR 1200, the street legal version of what they're racing today. Gary, what do you got for us?
Well, on the behalf of Indian Motorcycle, Charlie, here's the keys to a brand new FTR 1200S race replica. We want you to raffle this thing off and give the money to your great charity, the Class of 79. So thanks for everything you do from Indian Motorcycle.
How about it? Put your hands together for Indian Motorcycle right here. Charlie, we're going to raffle this motorcycle off at the end of the 2020 season. Is that correct?
Scotty, they can start buying tickets now. You can go to rookie79.com and purchase your raffle tickets. They're $25 a piece or 5 for $100. Our goal is $75,000 to $100,000 to raise on this motorcycle for injured riders. They're available now.
How much are the raffle tickets for this motorcycle?
$25 a piece or 5 for $100. You buy 5, you get 1 free.
All right, that's a good deal. Check out the Rookies of 79. How about it? They're all in attendance except for Johnny Winsowich. We miss him. We wish he was out here. But, hey, they're going to take a picture right now. This is like a reunion from 10 years ago. So how about it, ladies? You'll make some noise for the Rookies of 79. Special thanks to Wayne Rennie, our Grand Marshal out here today. We appreciate it. We're going to slide these folks out of here. And I'm going to introduce from NBCSN, ladies and gentlemen, she's going up on top of the stage. This is going to be Kristen Beat with NBCSN. We're going to clear out this area. I'm going way up to the top, so I got to take off running. We'll see you later. Have a good show, Kristen.
Scotty, thank you so much. I'm still a little starstruck having the Rookies of 79 up here. It is so cool to see them turn out for this race. But I'm going to go ahead and ask all of y'all to stand because it is that time for us to present our nation's colors. Presenting our nation's colors, the Blue Knights. And here with our invocation, Ray Rizzo of MRO.
Thank you. Do we have anyone that's thankful here today? Amen. Let's pray. Father, we're so thankful for your love, seen and unseen, all the blessing that you give. And we want to say thank you tonight. Father, I ask that you would bless each and every rider, help them to do their best tonight, keep them safe from all harm, every one of their crews and family and sponsors as well. For AFT, I ask that you continue to bless all of our staff, the corner workers, the crews, the medical, security, everyone working behind the scenes. Thank you. Encourage them all. I also ask, Father, for those around the world that are serving, bless each and every one. Let them know that you love them, we love them. And for those that are suffering with injuries, even tonight we think of Jeremy, we think of James Monaco, Jeremy Higgins, and J.R. Addison. We just reach out and ask that you would touch each and every one. We thank you for them. Encourage them. Bless them, their families as well. Bring them strong back. I ask this in Jesus' name. And everyone said, Amen.
Thank you so much, Ray. And here to perform our national anthem, Nick Stark of Chasing Neon.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for opening ceremonies. The fireworks still going off out here tonight. In just a second, the fireworks will be going off on the racetrack. So that is it for opening ceremonies out here at the Meadowlands Mile. Take just a second to clear the racetrack. When we get back into the racing action, AFT Singles semifinals are up next. There'll be 2 of them. They're 8 laps apiece, and they are going, the top 8 going to the main event. So coming up in just a moment, we have 2 AFT Singles semifinals. After that, we'll have 2 AFT Twins semifinals, and then we'll have our 3 main events remaining here tonight. Don't forget, after the races, you are more than welcome to go into the pit area, meet your favorite rider, tell them what a good job they did here tonight. So we just met Kristen Beat down there in the victory podium. Of course, I'm Scotty Dubler, the voice of American Flat Track. And now up here in the booth, ladies and gentlemen, your 2013 AFT Twins Grand National Champion. Please welcome the Bullet, Brad Baker.
Thank you, Scotty. Really appreciate it. It's awesome to be here in New Jersey. This is actually my first time making it to the Meadowlands Mile. Never had the pleasure of racing this racetrack last year. I was chomping at the bit watching it, though, because it looks like a really fun racetrack. But thank all of you for coming out. It was awesome seeing you guys in the open paddock. It's just amazing to see how many kids are here, and there's definitely a rich dirt track heritage up here in the north, or up here in the in New Jersey area.
We're going to try to get Brad up here on the camera in just a second. We'll be up here in the booth in just a moment, but rolling onto the racetrack here in just a second also is our AFT Singles. They're getting set to go. We'll get everybody dialed in up here in the booth, getting everything dialed in down there on the racetrack. The bikes are rolling to the track. Here's a good look at the Bullet, Brad Baker, ladies and gentlemen. We're up here in the booth, high on top of the grandstands. What a seat we have here today.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, it's beautiful up here. I mean, first time I came up here on the roof, you look over to the left and you see all downtown Manhattan, and then over this a beautiful racetrack, and it's a great facility here. I'm pumped.
All right, sounds like the bikes are rolling. Let's go back out to the racetrack where all the action is. That's the Bullet, Brad Baker, joining us up here in the booth. On the track now is the Singles. Get everything taken care of up here. Brad's kind of hooked on a few different things. Get him dialed in. Here we go. We'll flip him back around. On the track, Mikey Rush will be on the pole, the 15 bike. Beside him will be the rider battling for the championship, the 1 bike. That is Dan Bromley. He'll start second. Maxwell from Australia will start third on the 18. 51, Cole Zabala. 163, Dallas Daniels. He already locked up the Rising Star Award. Beside him will be the 190, Brandon Newman. He's from Medina, New York, not too far away from home. Row 2, the 148, Trent Lowe, Guilford, Indiana. 24, Oliver Brindley from Doncaster, England. 52, Shannon Texter, our defending champ of this race, starting in 9th here in semifinal number 1. Jeremy Orr's on the number 22. Dalton Gauthier, our points leader. He's way back there in the 11th spot. Let's get a report from Kristen Beat. She talked to Dalton earlier. Kristen, what's going on with our points leader, the 122?
Scotty, there is a question mark in front of what could be a championship-clinching night for Dalton Gauthier after blowing a motor transmission earlier this week. He has no backup bike. They had to combine the best components from his A and B bike to ensure that he'd be competitive, but in an effort to preserve the motor, they skipped practice. The handling was way off in qualifying. He was 21st on the board. He said he's not comfortable. And guys, the bike he's racing has not been tested with race intensity for the duration of a main event. You know, I spoke with Dalton earlier, but surprisingly, he seemed really calm. They've overcome adversity this year, so let's see if Dalton, the comeback kid, can do it one more time this season.
That's good stuff, Kristen. Thanks for that awesome report. So Dalton Gauthier will start 11th. Trent Pickle on the 298 is 12th. Scott Barrett, Garrett Wilson, and Bo Thompson round out your field. Bo Thompson not able to make the start, so here we go. Semifinal number 1, Brad, the top 8 going to the main. Brandon Newman gets a horrible start, but our defending champ gets a great start.
Yeah, great start by Dan Bromley. There's Dallas Daniels right on the outside. Looks like he got a good start as well.
Sliding up there, here comes the bright green Kawasaki. That's Max Whale. This is a kind of racetrack that's more like what he's used to down there in Australia as far as the surface. The distance, not so much.
Yeah, definitely a lot more similar to the long tracks that they run in Australia, so I could see that Maxwell probably going to have a good result here tonight.
Somebody put their hand up on the back straightaway. He'll take you to the inside of that back chute, so one bike is already done, so we're down to the fastest fit 14 on the racetrack. Again, the top 8 to the main. That's Trent Lowe on that 148. He's out of here. Trent Lowe is be a DNF here in this semifinal. Here they come off of turn number 4. Out in front, the defending champ, Dan Bromley's in the lead. Here comes Rush now trying to take that third spot away.
Yeah, Rush was looking super strong early in qualifying. He's been strong on the miles all year long, actually. Looked like that was maybe Max Whale or
second. Fourth place rider Zavala's up there. Yeah, he's getting around Dallas Daniels now, it looks like.
He almost got in the rear tire of Mikey Rush there coming off of turn 2. That was a little bit of a moment.
Now here comes Maxwell battling for the lead. He'll take the lead into turn number 3. Here comes the third place rider, Mikey Rush. He gets by Bromley almost, but Bromley leaves it on longer. So it's Maxwell, the killer whale from Australia, is going to lead off of turn number 4. Your points leader, he's worked his way up to 6th. He's looking for some more. Dalton Gauthier, remember, there's no backup motorcycle. He's out of provisionals as well. Battle is on for the lead, the 18 and the 1. Maxwell, his dad's here in attendance with him from Australia, will take it back to the lead in turn number 1.
That Kawasaki that he's riding is...
Man, they just about touched. Now one is down at turn number 2. Another one goes up and over the handlebars and into the air fin, or the hay bales over there. So one rider down, another rider went up into the hay bales. Red light is on, and that is not what we wanted to see. Looked like the third or fourth place rider went down. I think that you're right there. I think there was another Kawasaki up there, but I don't see any other green.
Yeah, maybe that was almost looked like a fourth or third rider went down there too. That was ugly. That's not good.
Not what we were wanting to get the racing action started over here, but one rider that was down, I believe that might have been Dallas Daniels going down by himself. He was in the 4th place. Another rider went up and over the handlebars. They're attending to one of the down riders. I believe that might be Dallas Daniels. It's hard to see from up here. We're way on top of the grandstands, Brad. It's a long ways away from where we're at. Everybody else goes over here to the hot and cold box. There's the 15 and the 51. I do not see the 163. Dallas Daniels. That's the 24 bike Oliver Brindley that's down. So Trent Lowe pulled out in first lap of the 24 of Oliver Brindley is down in the turn number 3. A few other bikes were collected over there. The ambulance is making its way over there to get him checked out right now. What do you want to do, buddy? So they're getting our downed riders checked out. We know for sure Oliver Brindley is one of the riders that's down. It looked like another rider may have stopped to check on him. There's a Yamaha still down over there also as well. I believe that is Dallas Daniels. It is Dallas Daniels for sure. The 163 is one of the riders that's down. The 24, Oliver Brindley, is down. Hopefully it's just the 2 riders that are down. We know that the 148 broke on the first lap. That's Trent Lowe. So we'll let the paramedics do their attention and do their job over there in turn number 2. Daniels is shaking up a little bit. He's the 163. I think that was the first bike that went down. Obviously, he's in a little bit of pain right now, so his dad is there. So, and there's actually the social media person for Estenson Racing. That's Andrea. So they're getting our down rider checked out. We're going to step off here for just a second, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let the paramedics do their job over there in turn number 2. We'll be back to the Meadowlands Mile as soon as we can.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown, Motorcycle Attorneys.
Cycle Gear is a proud partner and the official retailer of American Flat Track. You'll find the latest and greatest gear from the brands you love, while getting professional service and advice from local gear experts at every Cycle Gear store. With over 140 stores nationwide, there's always a Cycle Gear just around the corner.
Gotham Motorcycles, located at 364 Bay Street in Staten Island. New York's premier dealership for Indian Motorcycle, Slingshot, and Royal Enfield. Open 7 days a week for all your motorcycle parts, accessories, and service needs. Since 1975, Bergen Harley in Rochelle Park, New Jersey has been the one-stop shop for Harley-Davidson motorcycles, service, parts and accessories, riding gear, and more. Bergen Harley-Davidson, we fulfill dreams of personal freedom.
3 weeks ago, me and the Richie Morris Racing Honda team went to the wind tunnel. Basically, they strapped my motorcycle down with a billet piece of metal on the rear wheel and then a strap on the front wheel, and I got on it and sat on it in our natural tuck position that we do on the miles. And the wind started out at about 40, 45 miles an hour, and they were blowing the smoke over me and seeing where the wind was dragging over my head and down the side of me and everything like that. That is radical. Words can't explain that, that's for sure. They told me we were going to get up to 130 miles an hour wind, and they actually went up to 150. So it was a lot different than we are on the racetrack. A lot of pressure. You got to hang on pretty tight. It's too long of a pause.
You're just sitting there.
I was waiting to sit up and flick the thing into the corner. It was a real cool experience. I learned a little bit, for sure, on like seating position and tuck positions. Sometimes I think I'm sitting the right way and tucking the right way, but we tried a couple different positions and we found one that was actually better, where I could dip my head and get the wind to go over me better and taking your hand off. We collected enough data, I think, to help us quite a bit. It could help us just a hair, or it could help us this much, it could help us this much. I mean, but every little bit on these high-speed tracks helps. So if there's only a couple centimeters or whatever, I'm gonna try it, because it might help us in the long run, for sure.
Over 40 years ago, Russ Brown set out on a mission to help injured riders. We fight for the rights of riders every day because we are riders and we know what you're going through. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with just any lawyer.
Call 1-800-4BIKERS.
These guys will have your back. If you go down, call Russ Brown.
Motorcycle Attorney!
Supergen Products is a premier supplier of Champion power equipment. Champion has years of experience providing dependable and durable power products designed and engineered in the U.S. For home, work, or play, Champion products are the standard of performance excellence. Learn more at www.supergenproducts.com. Tom Duma Fine Jewelers is proud to be the official jeweler to American Flat Track, providing 3 custom championship rings to each class in 2019. TDFJ wants to be your jeweler. Check us out online for all your jewelry needs, from engagement rings to fashion jewelry to watches, in all price points to fit everyone's budget. Shop like a pro. Shop TDFJ.com.
Celebrating its 40th anniversary, Vance & Hines has developed the most innovative exhaust systems and performance products in the motorcycle industry, including state-of-the-art ECU tuning products like the revolutionary Fuel Pack FP3. All Vance & Hines products are designed and manufactured in the USA. Go to vanceandhines.com, and when you visit your favorite motorcycle shop, be sure to ask for Vance & Hines.
Whelen designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for various industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America. On the road, in the air, and around the world, Whelen is trusted to be seen, trusted to be heard, trusted to perform. Wiseco is proud to be the official piston of American Flat Track. Wiseco has been forging pistons right here in the U.S. for over 75 years, and they take pride in providing reliable, well-performing parts. Wiseco has your engine covered front to back, whether you're an enthusiast or a professional racer. 511 works directly with end users to create purpose-built apparel and gear designed specifically to enhance the safety, accuracy, speed, and performance of tactical professionals and enthusiasts worldwide. 511 products exceed rigorous standards, which have allowed the brand to establish a reputation for innovation and authenticity, and become the premier choice for those that always have to be ready. Today, American Cycle Finance is partnered with more than 425 motorcycle retailers in 23 states. ACF offers dealers the chance to assist consumers with current or past credit challenges and give them the opportunity to finance a motorcycle. Many riders with bad credit who finance through ACF improve their credit scores and qualify for other forms of credit and loans. Visit www.americancyclefinance.com for more information. Check out the all-new Honda Talon R Sport side-by-side driven on track today and displayed at Richie Morris Racing in the pits. The Talon R features a 999cc liquid-cooled parallel twin Unicom engine, the industry's only fully automatic dual-clutch 6-speed transmission, along with a manual mode. Check it out at your local Honda Power Sports dealer.
Absolute domination from Corey Texter, and yes, that was his sister Shayna that won our singles class. This is the first time ever siblings have won 2 different main events on the same night in American Flat Track.
Winning Texas was cool. At the end of my race, I immediately shifted my focus to Shayna and was rooting for her, and it didn't settle in until the ride home. I was like, man, we both won on the same day, so that was really cool.
For Corey to go out and win the race, you know, he's had a lot of struggles over the last couple years, so, you know, that was super cool. And then for me to back it up, you know, it was just, you know, a fairy tale ending for our family, and, you know, it's something that's going to go down in the record books for sure.
My all-time favorite racing memory isn't even of myself, it's of Shayna when she won Knoxville. She was the first female to win a race, and all the effort we put into it after my dad passed away. The emotion I had when she won Knoxville is unlike any other I've had for my own success, me winning races. For her to win Knoxville was, it's my favorite racing memory as a family.
Family for us is everything. You know, it's super helpful to have him in my corner growing up, and, you know, my dad kind of learned how to build bikes. For him, that suited me then later in life, so.
It's nice having somebody to bounce information off of, somebody to test with, train with. We're not on the same team technically, but we're blood, so we're the same team, and it's nice to have that.
It's cool to be able to have our family be our biggest cheerleaders, but also our biggest critics, especially our mom. You know, she's gonna be the first one to tell us if we're out of line, and you know, keep us humble, keep us in line, and also give us a great role model to look up to.
Yeah, my mom keeps us level-headed. You know, she wants us to do well and succeed. Growing up, she taught us a lot, but she also let us learn and be dependent and learn things on our own so we could be our own individuals growing up. But she's our biggest supporter, and she doesn't know a lot about racing. She knows enough, but it's cool to talk about other things other than racing. Our mom brings a lot of that aspect to our lives, and you know, without her, I don't know where we'd be right now. She's done a lot for us over the years.
And welcome back to the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys Meadowlands Mile. Again, track crew trying to get that turn number 2 cleared up. Did get reports they've taken Oliver Brindley in for further evaluation. Also involved in the incident was the 163 of Dallas Daniels. And at the last second, the 52 bike, Shayna Texter, our defending champion of this race, was also collected in that wreck. She went up and over the handlebars. Shayna's back over here in the hot and cold box. The 163 Dallas Daniels, he's over there as well. And I believe Kristen Beat, she caught up with some of those riders just a minute ago. Kristen, what have you learned down there in the hot and cold box?
Yeah, Scotty, I just checked in with Dallas Daniels, and thankfully he is all right. He told me that his back hurts him a little bit, his legs got ran over, but this kid is an Ironman tonight. The Rookie of the Year in the AFT Singles class said that they are working on the bike, as you can see behind me, trying to get him back on track. He said that he low-sided, and obviously a few riders ran him over, but surprisingly, he said he's feeling all right, and he's going to try to get back out there and race, which, guys, absolute Ironman tonight, Dallas Daniels on the 163 Essence and Racing Yamaha.
Well, Brad, I think when you strap that steel shoe on, you're tougher than anybody else that I know. We've both been there, and that's just part of the game. You fall down, it doesn't happen often, hopefully, but when it does, you got to get right back up and get on the horse that bucked you off.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, that's the deal. I mean, you can't be scared. I mean, we're out there to do a job, and you know the risk when you do strap that steel shoe on. And these guys, I mean, they're fearless. You know, you don't think of that. You just whenever you go down, you just think of however you can get back on the bike and get back out there and compete against. But looks like they got their work cut out for them on the S and Yamaha, trying to get that exhaust on. Maybe something messed up with the flange on the header, not trying to get that head pipe going on.
All right, so it looks like they've bent up some of the parts where you put the pipe into the head. Is that correct? That's how it looks like it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, because the things, you know, the exhaust. Nick Daniels, Dallas's dad's having the pound on that thing trying to get it back in. Looks like they got the bars almost on. If you can get that exhaust fixed up, then they'll be in business.
Again, you're only allowed 2 mechanics to work on the motorcycle. There's Brandon Bergen, your old mechanic, actually handing him tools. You can hand the tools, but you just cannot work on the bike. So I believe we got to look at the first part of the incident, ladies and gentlemen. So we will see Dallas Daniels going down, and at the very end, Shayna Texter gets involved in this accident. So let's take a look at the replay coming back to us here on the big screen. So Dallas Daniels right there, he hit one of the bumps. Here comes the other bump. He's in the roost right now, so possibly vision might have been a problem. He's Zabala trying to sneak underneath, and there goes the back end, just comes around, Brad. Tell us what happens here.
Looks like he just hit a couple bumps, and just looked like right when he got back on the throttle, it just came around on him. I mean, it was just...
There goes Shayna. Shayna hits
went
his
right
legs.
Over, right over his legs.
Man, up and over the...
And then look at Oliver Brindley possibly.
They stopped it right there when Oliver Brindley got into those hay bales at the very end of the wreck. So they're sending them out right now. We're going to have a restart, ladies and gentlemen. They have put the orange hash marks down on the front straightaway, so it looks like they're still thrashing on the 163. And that is, of course, Dallas Daniels. He was up there in the 4th position, so everybody will move up one spot. Actually, Shayna was in 6th, and Oliver Brindley was a little bit deeper in the field. He was in 9th. So we'll restack the field. We'll have, I believe, single file restart. This semifinal is 8 laps. 8 laps the distance, and the top 8 finishers going to the main. Possibly a good thing for our points leader right now, Brad. Dalton Gauthier was shown in the 7th spot. He has a 19-point lead advantage in the points, but he's got to make this main event directly out of this race, or he will not be racing the main event because he has no provisional, right?
Yeah, he is on the hot seat right now for nothing to go bad. Look at Dallas Daniels. They got that bike going. See if he's able to get that thing back around before they start this race here.
I'm actually looking at the lineup, and he may have a provisional. I don't see that here in front of me, so we'll keep an eye on that. But so it looks like no 163. Did he make it? He's back behind the wall, so that might be it for Dallas Daniels. He's not going to be able to make the restart, so he's not going to make the main event either. And he didn't race last year. He just turned 16 in June, so he won't have a provisional.
No, and even if he's not able to make it back out there, it'd be unfortunate. But Dallas has had a heck of a year. And he definitely has a lot to be proud about, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Won a race at Peoria. They're starting the bike right now, but it looked like it's left the racetrack, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maxwell's actually on the pole of this one, the 18, the rider from Australia. Then you got Dan Brumley in the 2 spot. Mikey Rush, his teammate right behind him, that's Zabala. Now you got Gauthier up to 5th. Brandon Newman, who had a bad start, he's in 6th. Or looks like Trent Pickle, possibly Scott Barrett, Garrett Wilson. Shayna's at the back of the pack to see if Shayna can make her way to the front. Here we go. Restart. AFT Singles semifinal number 1.
Look at this. Dallas Daniels coming out at the rear of the pack now. They got the thing going.
So he's at the back of the lead lap, though. He's not a lap down because they just went past him. So he's on it right now. So Dallas Daniels going to try to make it in the top 8 spots. I'll take him down the back straightaway. It's Maxwell from Australia leading this one. That is awesome, man.
Yeah, really awesome to see an Australian leading this national here. Like I said, this racetrack right now, the material of the racetrack is actually very similar to what they run on a lot of the long tracks down in Australia.
Ooh. Here comes Bromley sneaking a peek on the inside, Brad. Sorry to interrupt you, but Bromley's trying to take over the lead. Here they come off of turn number 4. Maxwell in the lead on that Kawasaki. Look at this. Here comes somebody slingshot up the inside. That's going to be Mikey Rush, last week's winner on the 15 RMR Honda.
It looks like Dalton Gauthier is all the way up to 5th place position already, making short work of this.
Absolutely. And Oliver Brinley, he's been taken to get checked out right now, but the other rider that went down, the 52, Shane Texter, is up to 7th, and Dallas Daniels is in the 12th spot right now. 8 of them go to the main event, ladies and gentlemen. Side by man, look at Maxwell's putting on a heck of a ride. He's right there now hanging on with Mikey Rush, and Dan Bromley, our defending champion, is right there with the number 1.
He is definitely putting on a charge.
Just got reports on the radio. Something is definitely wrong with the 52 bike. That's Shayna Texter. Remember when she crashed, she did hurt that pipe on that motorcycle, but she's out there still going. She just went by the start-finish line in about the 7th position, so she is in a transfer spot right now. That's what she needs to do to make it into the main event. Top 8 to the main.
Dan Bromley knows that he needs to finish far up as he possibly can to keep his championship hopes alive. He's looking really good here tonight. He's usually really good on tracks like this where they get a little bit rough, where you got to ride aggressive. He's a big guy, so he has the muscle to be able to power the bike around.
Mikey Rush out in front, the 15 RMR Honda. We've seen some videos on him today. They went to the wind tunnel. They've been doing a lot of testing on this Honda. It's the RMR Honda, and it is very fast, especially on these long mile racetracks. He's pulling the lead, and he's pulling away on that 15 bike. Maxwell, an excellent ride right there in 2nd. Bromley is there, pulls Zabala, the 51. Other RMR Honda is right there in the 4th spot. Whale just about got into the back tire of the 2nd place rider, Dan Bromley, just went way up the racetrack. So Maxwell, he's on the gas tonight.
He really is. It's awesome to see. Mikey Rush, this is also a racetrack that suits his style. You know, he always tells you, oh, the rougher and the deeper the better. He grew up riding a lot of motocross, cross country. He always was really good at Pomona, which is kind of similar to a racetrack like this. And he's definitely not afraid to go fast when the track gets a little rough.
Dallas Daniels has worked his way all the way up to 9th place, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to pick up one more spot to make the main event. Remember, he has no provisional because he did not race this class last year. So good battle back here, a little bit deeper in the field. Shayna Texter also trying to hang on to a transfer spot. She is in 6th. 7th is Gauthier. 8th is now Dallas Daniels is in a transfer spot from the back of the pack. Daniels has worked his way from not even making the start. He's caught up. He is now in the 8th spot. Here's a side-by-side battle for 2nd place. Whale on the inside. Bromley around the outside. This is the battle for 2nd place. Again, top 8 to the main event. Shayna is in 6th. Gauthier, 7th. Dallas Daniels, our rising star in the 8th spot. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Mikey Rush. Here comes Maxwell back into the 2nd spot. Bromley in 3rd. Now Bromley goes into 2nd. Maxwell goes back to the 3rd spot. Sabala is up there. Brandon Newman, who had a bad start at the very beginning, he is in the 5th position. Dalton Gauthier, Shane Texter, and Dallas Daniels. So right now the first man out is Jeremy Orr. The 22 used to be 222. So Orr, he's already used a provisional earlier this year at the Laconia short track. So he needs to pass one more rider to make the main event. We're watching this great battle here in front of us for 2nd place, and they've actually tracked down the leader. So Mikey Rush's lead is all gone. They're going to race him to the checkered flag. Here they come off of 4. Big P pulls out the checkered flag. Mikey Rush hangs on to win, somehow just barely wins that one. Last lap he was a half a second ahead. This time by, he finishes just a few bike lengths ahead of Dan Bromley, who finishes up in the 2 spot. There's a look deeper in the field. Our points leader and Shayna Texter, they slide their way in, and so does Dallas Daniels. So 2 of the riders involved in that incident in turn number 2 have put it into the main event. Your finishing order, Mikey Rush, the 15 bike, will take the checkered flag by 0.133 second. Dan Bromley is 2nd, Maxwell is 3rd, Cole Zabala is 4th, Brandon Newman is 5th. Shayna Texter hangs on to it. She gets that 6th spot on the factory Red Bull KTM. The 122, Dalton Gauthier, puts the Husqvarna into the main event, so he's keeping his championship drive alive. The 163, Dallas Daniels, is 8th. Jeremy Orr is out. He's 9th. Trent Pickle, also from Canada, he's out. Scott Barrett, Garrett Wilson, Oliver Brindley, Trent Lowe, and Babyface Bo Thompson. Those are the riders that did not make it into the next race. So, again, 8 riders transferred to the main event. An impressive run for Maxwell from Kundu, Australia. He puts it in the main event. He'll be on the front row of tonight's AFT Singles main event. Again, Mikey Rush, your winner. Dan Bromley is 2nd. All right, so Mikey Rush takes the win. Dan Bromley 2nd, Maxwell 3rd, Zabala, Newman, Shayna Texter, Dalton Gauthier, and Dallas Daniels are your transfers. The track drags come out right now, ladies and gentlemen. We got a quick break in the action. Don't forget to stop by the Rookies of 79. They are raffling off a really cool print. When we had 8 riders battling for that lead spot at the Springfield Mile, well, Ken Kerr has a print made. It's been signed. The original one is not here. It's at home, but they will send it to you. So let's take a look at this beautiful Rookies of 79 trying to raise money to help out Jeremy Warner. Let's take a look at this video. We'll be right back.
Hi everybody, I'm Charlie Roberts from the Rookies of 79. Hey, today's raffle item for Jeremy Warner is this beautiful picture of the last lap of the Springfield Mile. And it's not actually this picture, it's a 30 by 40 canvas, but we couldn't carry that around and show the fans. All the proceeds from this raffle will go to support Jeremy Warner that was paralyzed at Atlanta, Georgia this year. Also, the entire rookie class of 79 is here today at Meadowlands. Folks can come down and get an autographed poster after opening ceremonies. And we greatly appreciate everybody coming. Here today with Tim Estenson, who is a big supporter of the charity. And we'd just like to acknowledge him for all that he does to help the sport.
Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. I can't tell you what being able to be a part of the Class of 79 has meant to myself and my family. Since re-entering the race world, you know, to see the riders that are out and the riders that are down and get injured, to have people like Charlie and Tammy and you know the whole group here that volunteers all their time. It's just amazing the amount of money that we've been able to raise, and we just got to keep it going. So please support any way you can, online, in-person donations, and I appreciate it very much. Thanks.
Hey, they can go to rookies79.com and order their raffle tickets for today's event. Thank you very much.
So the original print is not here. It's really big, so get your raffle ticket, $5 each, and all that money will go to help out Jeremy Warner in his road to recovery. Again, like Charlie said, he was hurt at the Atlanta short track earlier this year. They're raising money to help him out, to help with his medical expenses. They're doing some track maintenance right now. Coming up next will be semifinal number 2 of the Roost Systems AFT Singles presented by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. Tomorrow, our awards banquet will actually be on a ship. Our crews and the race teams and everybody are taking a boat ride tomorrow. It will be on Fans' Choice later on in the week. So a lot of people have been asking us up here in the booth if we're going to have the awards banquet live on Fans' Choice. That's a negative. They are recording it when we get back on land, and a little bit later on the week, we'll play that back for you. So look at that. You guys are up on it. Look at that, playing some catch with that water bottle down there. So having some fun down here. We'll be on the racetrack just as soon as we can out here at the Meadowlands Mile. Getting everything set up. Let's take a look at the point standings for the singles because it's coming down to the wire. The AFT Twins champion has already been crowned, but your singles point standings, Brad, we just watched right there. Dalton Gauthier snuck his way in with a 7th place finish. He's got a 19-point lead, so that might be good enough. If he can get up there, he needs to finish, what, about 15th or maybe a little bit higher than that to make sure, or maybe about 13th actually to lock that championship down.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have to win this thing tonight, and that's good because he needs the buffer right now because it seems like he only has one more cycle, and it seems like it's not the strongest bike too, so maybe a little bit of his lackluster finish there in the semifinal might be just a little bit of him milking that bike along, not wanting to take any chances of breaking the bike or making any mistakes himself.
And he does not have a provisional. I was looking back at my records because he did not race with us last year, so that's why he doesn't have a provisional. So he made the main. That was his first step. Bromley, our defending champion, he's second in the point standings with 260, so he's 21 points behind our leader. So basically Bromley's just trying to focus on getting the win and getting maximum points because it goes from 25 down to 20. So Bromley pretty much has to win to get as many points as possible. If he doesn't win, it'll tighten up that points gap really close. 3rd in the point standings, Mikey Rush. He's got 3 wins on the season. 4th in the point standings, Chad Coast, the California kid. and he's on that Suzuki. Got some help down there with Joe Gibbs Racing helping out for this round, and it's good to see them. They're actually on hand. They like the flat track a little bit, so they're checking it out for the first time. So we'll see how that goes. Chad Coase on the 49 bike. He's got 1 win this year. Jesse Janish, the 132, he's 5th in the point standings with 3 wins from Irving, Texas with 183, so he can actually pass Chad if he has a good night. Ryan Wells sitting 6th in the point standings from Albion, New York. He has 1 win on the season at the the SoCal half mile. That was my fault. Shayna Texter, she was just in that last race. She got 6th in that last race. She's in the main. She has 3 wins on the season. She's from Willow Street, Pennsylvania. She's also our defending champion of this race. Morgan Mister, 8th in the point standings. Maxwell trying to move up in the points. He's quite a ways back, but he's sitting 9th in the point standings. Kevin Stallings is in 10th. Dallas Daniels, that rookie who just made the main right there, got 8th after coming off the ground. He's got 1 win at the Peoria TT. Remember, he just turned 16 right before the Lima half mile. He missed 1 round after that because he was road racing, but he's got 1 win and 2 podiums. The kid's been on fire, so he's got to come off the ground, and he made the main, but he's going to be coming from way at the back of the main event. He is currently in the 11th spot in the point standings. Oliver Brindley's 12th. Tristan Avery's not here with us. He's 13th. James the Rocket Rispoli, he's elected not to ride the single tonight because he's focusing on this twin. He's back there in the 14th spot. Michael Enderbitson is here. He'll be in the next race. He's 15th, and Andrew Luker is also here with us. He's in the next race as well, the 11 bike. Jacob Lehman, Cole Zabala, and then Ryan Sipes is 19th, and Tanner Dean rounding out your top 20. He's a friend of yours. How's Tanner doing?
Tanner's doing pretty good. He's actually here tonight. He came out with his team to be able to support Sandriana Shipman and also just join in on watching this awesome racetrack. But yeah, he's doing a lot better. He actually helped out a riding school at my home track in Washington here a couple weeks ago, and he just has some broken bones in his wrist, and they've actually had like an arm cast all the way past his elbow right now, so his elbow's all bent. But they didn't want any rotation of the wrist going on. That's why they went past up the elbow. But other than that, he'll make a quick recovery. I think here in about a week he gets off the cast, and we'll just go down to an arm cast below the elbow. And sometime towards the end of December, he'll get it all off. And I guarantee that Tanner Dean will be back with us in Daytona in full force, ready to go forward again.
Awesome news for sure. Up next will be the Roof Systems AFT Singles second semi, and that race is also presented by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. On the pole is Ryan Wells, and Kristen Beat is down there, I believe, with Ryan Wells. Kristen?
Yeah, Scotty, I have got Ryan Wells, and he is coming off a second place finish at the middle. Ryan, what for you here at the Meadowlands Mile now?
Especially here, I mean, starts are going to be huge. I think if you can get a good start and kind of try to get away from everybody, avoid the roost, ride the lines that you want to ride, and be able to avoid the bumps, it's going to be crucial. So luckily I've been getting pretty good starts lately, so hopefully we can get this Estes and Yama up front.
You've been able to avoid a lot of the carnage today, to say the least, and you've been able to find a clean line. What will it take for you to be able to do that in this semi?
Yeah, like I said, I really think the start is going to be one of the biggest things today. Yeah, fortunately, I've been able to cut some pretty good lines, and I think see some things other people's haven't. So yeah, hopefully I can use that to my advantage and stay toward the front.
Did you like running the middle, the high side? Where did you kind of like running best earlier?
Nah, I don't like riding the bottom. I'll keep her up high where it's smoother and I don't have to let off.
I like it. Wide open out here, guys.
Absolutely wide open is the fastest way around the racetrack most of the time, but trying to make sure that you got to keep it on 2 wheels. That's maybe some of the hardest part of it. There's been a few bumps. The braking bumps going into turn 1 have been fixed right now, Brad. They're trying to make sure the braking bumps over there in the middle of the corners stay away.
Yeah, for sure. With how deep and loamy the track is right now, you can definitely run it wide open. I mean, some riders are electing to let off and go on the bottom, but usually when you let off, the motorcycle will kind of get all the weight towards the front end, and then the motorcycle will get out of shape. You know, when you're driving on the rear tire, usually the whole bike is planted and it stays more stationary. It will blow through all those holes, blow through the ruts. So I like Ryan's tactic there, trying to just keep it on the throttle. And also, like you said, going up around the holes. You know, right now the lines, or there's going to be a lot of different lines that come into play, especially in the main events when the racetrack's a little bit, or the race is a little bit longer. You'll see guys just trying different lines that haven't really been ran before, just because nobody's gone there and they're smoother. So it's definitely a little tricky out there for sure, but it makes it technical and fun to ride. Really, they're some of my favorite racetracks.
So when the tractor pulls off a turn number 2, we're going to fire up the engines and send them out. This is second semifinal for the AFT Singles. 94 will be coming out first. He's on the pole from Albion, New York. It's the Yamaha. That is Ryan Wells, number 94, former GNC2 champion back in the day. The 49, Chad Coast, the California kid from Fremont, California, with help from American Suzuki. Third on the front row is the 11 bike Andrew Luker from Concord, California. It's the Rackley Racing, Kieran Racing, Yamaha. 69, Morgan Mishler, that's the Waters Auto Body KTM. Waters Auto Body's from New York, nearby, not too far away, I guess. 105, Brandon Kitchen from Clifford, Michigan. That's the Donnelly Excavating Honda. Last bike on the front row is the 54, Michael Inderbitz in Modesto, California, part of the Modesto Mafia. Doing it for Morris Racing, Mark Strock on his Honda. Row 2, the 10 of Austin Luzak from Barker, New York. 156, Jordan Jean from Midland, Michigan. 89, Michael McKee at Glen, Pennsylvania. 75, Blake Lomas, Columbia, South Carolina. 27, Shane Narbonne from Tingsboro, Massachusetts. 132, Jesse Janis from Irving, Texas. 66, Drew Hart back there on row 3 from Marysville, Ohio. Sandriana Shipman, the other female racing with us here tonight, the 55. This is her final pro race is what we're hearing. She posted that on her social media earlier this week. Sandriana Shipman from Maybrook, New York. She's on the Double D Performance Honda. And the last bike out there, they're letting him in. The 99, Kevin Stallings. He had an issue with his qualifying, and so but he'll start at the back of the pack. I'm hearing on the penalty line, so the 99, Kevin Stallings, if he's able to make the start, will start at the back of the pack. And he is from Indianapolis, Indiana on the Roof Systems Honda. So that's your starting lineup, semifinal number 2. After this, we have 2 AFT Twins semifinals, and then we have our 3 main events. So we have still a lot of racing action out here at the Meadowlands Mile. We're just outside of MetLife Stadium where the NFL teams play over there on Sunday. New York Giants are playing tomorrow. Usually the Jets play there as well.
This is a beautiful facility. Like I said, first time here, and I'm in awe. It's amazing.
We're lining them up. The pole setter goes to the outside. That's Ryan Wells. Any surprise right there, Brad? I mean, you've been down there.
He said he wanted to go to the top, so might as well start at the top. You know, especially if you want to run up top and on a track like this, you know, being on the bottom, you get towards the the entrance of the corner, and you kind of get pinched off. So I think it's definitely the wiser place to be. 2 bikes RA scratch. The 132 Jesse Janis from Irving, Texas. He's out, and I just got word that the 55 Sandriana Shipman. She's not going to attempt this one, so she is out, and there comes Stallings. He'll go to the back of the pack. Actually, they're not putting him on the penalty line. He'll put him on row number 3. They left a spot between him for Sandriana Shipman, obviously, who's not here. So here we go. It's time to go racing once again. It's the AFT Singles semifinal. Top 8 to the main event. 16-rider main events here in the 2019 season. RPMs pick up. Second yellow light is on, and there's the green. We are off from the bottom. Inderbitson gets a shot. Here comes Chad Coast near the outside. Wells is on the right shoulder. Inderbitson pulls the front wheel when he goes through the gearbox. Here we go, Brad. Yeah, Inderbitson had the initial launch, and then Chad Coast got the run around the outside on the American Suzuki.
Look who's sneaking up the inside way at the bottom with that white on top of the helmet. That's going to be the 105 of Brandon Kitchen. He's a little bitty guy, and he told me earlier today in the pit walk he could not wait to get out there and go racing with these fast guys. Here they go into turn 3. They're side by side. Wells goes up the inside of Chad Coast. The 49 and 94 beside each other. No surprise.
No, not at all. These two comfortable riding with each other. They were going at it quite a bit last weekend as well. Like I said, Brandon Kitchen, he's been looking really good here as of lately.
Yep, absolutely. 49 out in front, Chad Coast. 94 right behind him, that's Ryan Wells. Then Brandon Kitchen, the 105's up there. Now 4th is Andrew Luker, and look who else is up there. Michael McKee on that 89 bike. He's made his way towards the front. Right beside him now going to the high side, Morgan Mishler. No surprise there either. Mishler always looking for a faster way around. He never follows anybody.
That was a cool line that Ryan Wells had going through 1 and 2 that time. Yeah. As he does get by going in turn 3. Uses the draft, goes right on by, but he's entering a little bit wider, getting it turned sooner, and then driving right through the center. So instead of trying to turn through the ruts, he had already got his turn done early and was actually driving straight through them.
So he carried the momentum from turn 1 and 2 all the way down the back straight and took the lead. So the 94 out in front. Here comes the 49 to repay the favor going into turn 1. Chad Coast goes back to lead. Now look at Ryan. See, can he square out the corner? He's running right about the middle of the racetrack, so he probably thought Chad was still down there and did not shut the door on him.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut over and cross Chad Coast. That's one thing. These guys definitely give respect to each other. Try not to chop off a line at 100+ miles per hour,
Stallings from the back row. The 99 bike has worked his way up to the field. He's in 5th last time by, so Stallings had some issues in qualifying. Started at the back of this one. He's up to the 5th spot. He's got a few fast riders in front of him. The 11 of Luker's right there in front of him. Kitchen in the 3rd spot. Look at Wells stretching out the lead on the front straightaway on the 94 Essence and Yamaha.
Yeah, Wells was on the gas. Like he said, he's going to hold her wide open. I really believe that he's doing that.
I think he is. I didn't believe that he was going to either, but that's what he's doing right now. Wells out in front. That's the Estenson Yamaha. Behind him, the American Suzuki of the 49. That's Chad Coast, the California kid, now in the 3rd spot. As they went by the stripe, it was Brandon Kitchen, but that didn't last very long because now Andrew Luker's back there has a 27 bike off the pace here on the front straightaway. So that's going to be it for the 27 of Shane Narbonne. But look at this. Andrew Luker got back into the 3rd spot after they got past us, and now Kitchen back and forth. 5th is where the best battle is. Kevin Stallings and Morgan Mish are going at it like a dog fight.
Yeah, they are. This track definitely getting a little bit rough in the middle of the corners. You see Chad Coast, his bike's definitely a little bit more upset in the center of the corners, more so than Ryan Wells. Ryan seems to be able to get across the holes right there in the middle of the corner. I think that's a lot of his line choice, like I was saying, coming in a little bit wider, getting the thing turned early, and then going straight across the ruts. Because when you're trying to turn in the ruts and the bike is grabbing each hole and getting out of shape, if you can get the bike turned and go straight across them like Ryan is, you'll end up driving straight through them and be a lot smoother.
So maybe just the suspension setup might be a little bit off too on that 49 bike, but he'll have to. Right now, he's going to school. He's watching where Ryan is riding, and if he can learn that line, maybe he can pick up the pace a little bit. There's Luker back here in the 3rd spot, Kitchen in 4th, and again the 99, the 69 going at it. And that is for the 5th and 6th spot. Michael McKee still in 7th. Austin Luzak in the 8th spot. So Luzak is the man on the bubble on the number 10 bike. We'll see if that holds true when they go across the start-finish line. It's still Luzak on the bubble. Michael McKee now out of a transfer spot.
I was looking back in the pack there. You've seen Morgan Mischler. He was higher than anybody. He's going up where nobody's ran before, and sometimes that's a good thing because then it's smooth up there. But on these smaller 450s, that's a long way around the racetrack.
And it's deep up there, which is sucking down the horsepower, right?
For sure. Sometimes even when it's this deep, it'll bog down. Whoa,
man.
All up out of the saddle.
That was Stallings on the 99.
Caught a hole.
Yeah, caught something and bumped him up over the seat for just a second. He stayed on the throttle. He's right there behind Kitchen. So looks like Stallings working his way towards the front. Remember, he came from, starting on the back row. So Stallings is up to the 5th spot. Still Wells out in front. Coase in 2nd. Luker 3rd. And you got Brandon Kitchen, the 105 in 4th. Stallings, Morgan Mischler, Inderbitzen, and now Austin Luzak is the man on the bubble. He's just fresh out of the military. He's retired. He said, I'm going to go back racing, Scotty. I talked to him earlier today. He's like, I'm just having fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, having fun on your motorcycle. Well, I was about to say before Kevin Stallings got up out of the saddle there is that when these bikes suck down in the power, they bog down coming into the corner because, like I said, how deep the dirt is. They'll actually shift on the 450s sometimes. So I wonder if some of these guys can't quite hear them up from up here, but some of them might be shifting the bike down just to get back up in the RPM to get the pull off the corner.
And we were watching that earlier today. It looked like Mikey Rush, you could physically see him letting off the throttle and getting back on the throttle. So I think Rush was shifting earlier. It's hard, like you said, we're way up on top of the grandstands in the glassed-in area, so it's hard for us to even think about shifting the motorcycle. But look at this. Now Chad Coase going really high down here in turns 3 and 4, and he's got the chance to do it right now. It's the last lap of semifinal number 2. He wants to see if there's anything out there for the main event. Here they come off of turn number 4. The checkered flag is out. Ryan Wells will take the win of semifinal number 2. There's Chad Coase in 2nd. Here comes everybody else. 3rd is Luker. 4th is Kitchen. 5th is Stallings. 6th is Morgan Mischler. 7th and 8th right there, Inderbitzen. And the 10 bike, Austin Luzak. Again, just out of the military services. He finishes up in the 8th on the last transfer spot. A few more bikes to take that checkered flag. Here they come off of the final corner. So we'll give you a rundown again just a second. So Chad Coase comes up a little bit short on that American Suzuki. He's up in the high line down here in 3 and 4. Maybe he's just down there having some fun, Brad.
It's very well possible. Like I said, it was the last lap there, just trying to go up where it's all smooth. It's fun, that's for sure. When you're getting sideways and the bike is stepped out and you're able to hold it wide open all the way around, it's definitely fun. Sometimes taking the longer way around the racetrack, as you've seen Ryan Wells, he would come in kind of high, but then he'd get it turned early and go straight across the center, then be around the bottom all the way coming off. And that's a shorter way around the racetrack, so if you can be full throttle, shorter way around.
So, Brad, we're gonna take a look at this replay. I think this is what I got excited about just a second ago, so we'll watch this one. This is down in turn number 3 and 4. There's Luker. There goes the 99 Stallings, sneaking a peek up the inside of Brandon Kitchen. Now, he hits that bump right there, goes up. Man, it stood him straight up, and he never let off the throttle, and that's what you're trained to do, right? I mean, that's what you learn to do, Brad.
Yeah, you don't want to let off the throttle because that'll actually just accelerate the motorcycle getting upset. You want to get back in the throttle and it'll plant the bike back down to the ground.
All right, so the drags are coming back onto the racetrack. Let's give you a rundown here of semifinal number 2. The 94 Ryan Wells will take the win on his Yamaha. He wins by 1.7 seconds over Chad Coase, who is second. Third is Andrew Luker on the Yamaha, so Yamaha's first and third. Brandon Kitchen will be fourth. He's the highest finishing Honda in that semifinal. Kevin Stallings, so again from the back row, will finish up there in the fifth spot. Morgan Mishler is sixth. Michael Enderbitson from California is seventh. Austin Luzak from New York will get that last transfer spot in eighth. So Michael McKee, Blake Lomas, Drew Hart, Jordan Jean, Shane Narbone, Jesse Janish, who did not start, and neither did Sandriana Shipman. Their 2019 season just came to a close. So those top eight, make it to the main. Unless any of those riders have a provisional, then they might be able to keep racing. But up next, we're going to switch our attention on over to the Twins. It looks like they're already starting to stage up over here. The premier class coming up next is the AFT Twins presented by Vance and Hines class. The championship was already decided last weekend, ladies and gentlemen, but Briar Bauman still has something to race for, Brad. Briar has never won a Grand National on a mile.
Yeah, the Grand Slam, that is one of the most prestigious things, other than obviously winning a Grand National Championship, for a flat tracker to be able to accomplish, being able to win on all four types of tracks. One thing that I got close to and never got to do, it's just something that you push for. Now that Briar has got the Grand National Championship behind him, he's more relaxed than he's been all year long. He's like, man, I feel like I'm prepared better now than I've been all year long, just because the pressure's off, and he just goes into the racetrack race just focusing on that race that day. Nothing about championship points or making any mistakes to jeopardize the championship. So it'd be really cool to see him be able to pull it off. His biggest rival and biggest competition for the night is definitely Jared Mizzo. Jared's been on it here at all the miles this year. Seems like him and his team just have a little bit extra figured out in that camp. And yeah, Jared's been extremely fast.
Absolutely. He's won every mile so far this season. If he wins tonight, he'll wrap up the mile sweep of the 2019 season. So we'll get a quick break out of the way. When we come back to the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen, AFT Twins presented by Vance and Hines. Semifinals are up next.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys.
Cycle Gear is a proud partner and the official retailer of American Flat Track. You'll find the latest and greatest gear from the brands you love, while getting professional service and advice from local gear experts at every Cycle Gear store. With over 140 stores nationwide, there's always a Cycle Gear just around the corner.
Gotham Motorcycles, located at 364 Bay Street in Staten Island. New York's premier dealership for Indian Motorcycle, Slingshot, and Royal Enfield. Open 7 days a week for all your motorcycle parts, accessories, and service needs. Since 1975, Bergen Harley in Rochelle Park, New Jersey, has been the one-stop shop for Harley-Davidson motorcycles, service, parts and accessories, riding gear, and more. Bergen Harley-Davidson, we fulfill dreams of personal freedom.
We're going racing here in Black Hills.
The Rapid City Half Mile is probably one of the best prepped half miles on the circuit. Multi-line racing, you carry a lot of momentum in the corners. The track's usually pretty dang smooth. It's definitely a place that we look forward to going to when we go out for the Sturgis Bike Rally. This year at Black Hills, it was a little different for me than the last 2 years.
Meads has caught this group. No, Meads goes down.
Wow. About halfway to go, I was going into the corner. I had a problem and fell down, and it was a big chaotic wreck.
Fisher decides to go into the air fence to dodge Jared Mees. Pearson has nowhere to go.
Ooh. Fortunately, I got so very lucky that Davis avoided me, and also Robbie Pearson.
Really get an idea of how quickly all this unfolds.
Yeah, I was scared. I mean, I think as I was going down, I was bummed and mad because I just made some points up on Briar at Buffalo Chip, and here I am losing them. But honestly, after seeing the race and the way I was missed, it was I was more thankful than anything. And fortunately, none of us got any serious injuries that are keeping us out of the Sacramento Mile. Just a couple bike tear-ups for them guys.
championship might go between one of these two.
Battling Briar it's like battling another opponent. I mean, he's definitely matured a lot from last year to this year. He's got a great team behind him. He's hitting his marks, and he's able to bounce back when he's got a problem. So he's showing that he's putting in the effort and the work and signs of being a champion. In 2018, I really felt like I had the main control of the race.
He's going to go for it. No! Mees holds on and wins the Sacramento Mile.
I was really happy to be able to win the Sacramento Mile. It was my very first one. It was a good one to win. This year, I've got 3 wins so far. It's definitely not where I was this time last year, but the way the season's been going, it's been up and down for both Briar and I. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not giving up, and I'm going to fight this thing to the end.
Over 40 years ago, Russ Brown set out on a mission to help injured riders. We fight for the rights of riders every day because we are riders and we know what you're going through.
If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with just any lawyer. Call 1-800-4BIKERS.
These guys will have your back. If you go down, call Russ Brown.
Motorcycle attorney!
Roof Systems of Dallas, Texas specializes in installing conventional built-up roofing, as well as thermoplastic and EPDM single-ply roofing systems. A proud supporter of flat track racing, Roof Systems expands its efforts for 2019 by sponsoring 7 riders and entitling the AFT Singles, presented by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys class.
The Rookies of '79 are former racers and champions of the sport who reunited in 2009 to form the official charity for American Flat Track. 10 years and over $1.7 million raised for our injured racers. Visit rookies79.com to see how you can help. Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. SBS is your single source for brake parts and components, from pads to rotors, shoes, and other important parts, covering motorcycles, scooters, motocross bikes, ATVs, and UTVs. We create the power to stop you so you can go ahead. Find the right parts for your bike at www.sbs.dk.
Welcome back to the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys Meadowlands Mile, ladies and gentlemen. There's a good look at the beautiful trophies sitting down there by the victory lane. So Victory Circle getting all set up for tonight's main event finishers. Up next, AFT Twins presented by Vance & Hines Semifinals. There'll be 2 of these races. And let's take a look at the point standings coming in. Obviously, we locked up the championship last weekend. Briar Bauman with 5 wins so far this season. He's got the championship locked up. He's already got 5 wins. He's been on the podium all but 2 races, Brad. What an incredible year for Briar Bauman.
Yeah, this has been an amazing year for Briar. I mean, he's been so incredibly consistent and strong everywhere. I mean, he's literally shown the strength to win at every single one of these races, not just getting on the podium, but been in contention to win at every single one of these races. And, you know, the race at Lima, it was just the tire popped off the rim. I mean, none of us ever seen it. And then obviously he had the little misfortune at the Buffalo Chip TT. So, man, if it wasn't for those two, he would have been on the podium every single time. I'm really proud of him. He's definitely matured a lot this year, and it's awesome to see a new Grand National champion.
So he'll have the #1 plate next year, and giving up the #1 plate is the #1 rider in the country, our defending Grand National champion, Jared Meese, who has 7 wins this year. He's from Sebastian, Florida. He has 295 points, and he's had a strong year also, but just a couple of more bad finishes. I mean, I hate to say it, but a 17th at Daytona and then a 15th at Laconia and a 14th at Black Hills. Other than that, he's been up there as well. So Briar was just a little bit more consistent than the one bike of Jared Meese.
For sure. I mean, really, I calculated out the other day. I mean, he's had one more unfortunate bad finish than Briar. If they say both of them finished where they were before they had, those 2 bad finishes, say if they're on the podium, I mean, they would be Meese might be a couple points ahead. I mean, it would be a pretty tight championship race here at the last race. But like I said, the first finish, you got to, the finish first. You first got to finish, and Briar's has been the more consistent guy.
Sitting third in the point standings is the third member of the Indian Wrecking Crew from Salinas, California. It's Bronson Bauman, who has 1 win, got his first Grand National win of the season. Bronson's had a great season as well. Just had a few bad finishes at the start of the season, or he would have been up there battling with these 2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was really close to him at one time. I mean, he had a mechanical failure there at Texas and just had a few, had to get off there at Daytona and got, saddled back up and was able to salvage there. But it's just been an awesome season for Bronson. I mean, this is his first time on a team that had the caliber to be able to run towards the front. And now here he is, pretty much consistently in the top 5 and now, possibly going to finish top 3 in the championship. And he's really just proven what he is as a rider this year. And I'm super proud of him as well.
4th in the point standings, also on an Indians, the 23 Jeffrey Carver Jr. He has 210 points, best finish so far this year. He's got 3 seconds, and he said earlier he's tired of finishing second.
I bet he is. Nobody likes second. And Jeffrey, I mean, he's had a lot of misfortune this year as well. He's had quite a few mechanical failures. Without that, he could very well be sitting in 3rd. But he was looking strong earlier as well. I mean, he was decent times. I really think that this racetrack could suit his style, and he could potentially get a win tonight.
All right. 5th in the point standings, Brandon Robinson was left without a ride at the Pennsylvania race. He got a call from Terry Vance. He's got 2 wins on this season. So Brandon Robinson, who is now back on the factory XG 750 Harley Davidson with help from Vance and Hines, he's sitting 5th in the point standings. He has 2 wins on the season, and people kind of forget about that because they were early on at Atlanta and at the SoCal Half Mile. So Robinson 5th in the point standings with 2 wins. Van de Kooi will be his teammate here today. The 20 bike Captain Chaos is back there at 6th in the point standings. They've kind of gapped away from everybody else. The 17 bike Henry Wiles 7th. He finished 2nd in the points last year, so obviously a little bit disappointing this year. He did break his leg and only missed 2 rounds, but Henry Wiles, we expected him to be higher in the point standings.
Yeah, Henry definitely is a little bit lower than what he is last year. I mean, he had just had a very consistent year last year. I mean, there was a lot of riders, including myself, that got hurt, and then a lot of riders that also, had basically mechanical failures. And he was just consistently, he was on the box, and he also just had, I think he was one of the only teams, really probably the only team that actually finished every single race, did not have a failure. So him and his whole team did a great job. Henry's always a front runner no matter where you go. So we'll see how he does tonight. Usually he's super fit. This track is going to be a physical one tonight with how loose and rough it's getting. So maybe he'll be in contention to win tonight.
8th in the point standings, Bugs Pearson from Mossville, Illinois. He's only missed 1 main event. That was at Sacramento, and that was, of course, the week after, a few days later after his big get-off at the Rapid City Half Mile. But he went out there and had mechanical issues. But Bugs Pearson's been in every main event except for that one. He's 8th in the point standings. Slammin' Sammy Halbert is 9th in the point standings from Graham, Washington with 153. Dashin' Davis Fisher is in 10th on the 67 bike from Warren, Oregon with 148. Brandon Price, who locked up the Mobile View Rookie of the Year, he locked that up earlier this year. He's 11th. He'll have a national number next year, and yeah. Brandon Price told me he wants to run the 92 to honor the late Rodney Ferris.
Yeah, let's talk about him a little bit. I'm really impressed with Brandon Price. Man, he's been doing super good this year. I mean, got his first Grand National podium. I mean, he's been really fast on, especially tracks like this, the looser tracks. I mean, he impressed me at Lima. I think there was one qualifying session where he almost didn't let off all the way around it. And he's just a good kid, good family. It's awesome to see another promising rider coming up, and like I said, taking the number 92 to honor Rodney Ferris.
And he was off to a slow start. He's really consistent at the start of the year. 3 13th place finishes, then a 12th, then he got a 7th. Had mechanical, I think, at the Red Mile, 16th and a 13th. A 4th at Lima, like you said, he was going really strong there. A 9th at New York. He did not make the main event at the Buffalo Chip and the Black Hills half mile. He got an 8th, 11th, 9th, a 4th at the Springfield mile. He led coming off that final corner, but he's in that big group of riders, so he's in 4th. Coming to the line, just got out-drafted, out-foxed maybe to that finish. So a 4th there, but then a 2nd at the Williams Grove half mile. That was awesome for him. He's actually tracking down the leader. He possibly could have won that one.
Yeah, I mean, he really could have. I mean, so it seems like basically halfway through the season, that's where he found his stride and was able to, basically figure things out, and has been up in the top 5, definitely the top 10 ever since. And, it's just a new team, first time in this class, new bike, just figuring things out. I really feel like next year, if he can get a good program behind him, that Brandon Price can be running up in the top 5 consistently.
And remember, he was injured last year at the Springfield TT. Went to the hospital, had a long road to recovery. Now he's back stronger than ever.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, he was in a coma for like 3 days, and then all of a sudden he woke up, and it was like he was fine. I mean, usually when somebody hits their head that hard, it'd be a longer recovery. He bounced back, very quickly. Now he's back out here again, thankfully.
All right, so looks like we're on hold right now still, trying to find out what's going on. We'll let you know as soon as we can. We'll get another quick break out of the way. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, AFT Twins Semifinal presented by Vance & Hines coming up next.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys.
Cycle Gear is a proud partner and the official retailer of American Flat Track. You'll find the latest and greatest gear from the brands you love while getting professional service and advice from local gear experts at every Cycle Gear store. With over 140 stores nationwide, there's always a Cycle Gear just around the corner.
Gotham Motorcycles, located at 364 Bay Street in Staten Island. New York's premier dealership for Indian Motorcycle, Slingshot, and Royal Enfield. Open 7 days a week for all your motorcycle parts, accessories, and service needs. Since 1975, Bergen Harley in Rochelle Park, New Jersey, has been the one-stop shop for Harley-Davidson motorcycles, service, parts and accessories, riding gear, and more. Bergen Harley-Davidson, we fulfill dreams of personal freedom.
We're looking at a Bauman Brothers 1-2 and their adopted home state. It's over, and the Bauman Brothers do it. They sweep it here at Williams Grove.
Bronson rode for Indian last year, and he proved that he deserved a spot, and I kind of did the same. So, being brothers, we kind of share more information than other people I would in the pits.
Briar Bauman, fastest qualifier, being quick all night.
Briar getting notes and exchanging with his brother Bronson.
I kind of felt some things out on the track, and I actually had a pretty big moment that I didn't want anyone else to get into. I just only shared it with him. So, yeah, I kind of gave him an idea of what the track was like and what to stay away from.
I think Flat Track as a whole is a huge family. So when you have your family there, it makes it even better. And our parents, they're the type of parents that will do anything for us. I mean, they'll give us the shirt off their backs anytime in need. And it's really an honor to have them here with us at the Factory Indian spot, just because it's not just a relief on us, it's a relief on them because we made it, really.
It's kind of funny because a lot of people used to say that to me. Your boys are gonna go, they're gonna make it, they're gonna make it. And I'd be like, oh, we'll see.
I'm gonna blame her right here, right now. It was all her idea. I actually did not want to. And she was pretty adamant about taking them racing. At their first race was the Ricky Graham Memorial. And that was the downfall. They loved it. They loved it. That was kind of our leverage point to raising good young men, because they knew they had to maintain a B average, get their schoolwork done, their chores, then they could go riding. And they rode every day, and they just kept getting better and better. I mean, starting out on mini bikes, and it's like, to be able to be on a factory ride and Indians at the pinnacle right now, I mean, what more do you say? It's phenomenal for both boys to be there.
When they were younger, I couldn't even watch. I couldn't. It would be like I had a small window, and if I saw them go by on both sides of the track, phew, that was good. It's intense. I do a lot of praying, that's for sure.
Just like most parents in the sport, they dedicate everything to our craft. It's always just, hey, my kids love to do this, and we're gonna support that.
Being on the road, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so funny. Barry and I spent one of our anniversaries here in Paris, and so his joke was, I took my wife to Paris for our anniversary. So now I get to say I'm spending my Mother's Day in Paris. That's P-E-R-R-I-S.
Yeah.
Over 40 years ago, Russ Brown set out on a mission to help injured riders. We fight for the rights of riders every day because we are riders and we know what you're going through.
If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with just any lawyer. Call 1-800-4BIKERS.
These guys will have your back. If you go down, call Russ Brown.
Motorcycle attorney!
Are you in control of your motorcycle? The Motion Pro Rev 2 throttle will improve the ergonomics and feel of your motorcycle without breaking the bank. The Rev 2 throttle is available for most modern off-road and street motorcycles. For more information on the most advanced throttle on the market, check out motionpro.com. Motool, the official oil of American Flat Track. Established in 1853, Motool has grown to become a recognized leader in lubricant technology. With Motool's new line of products specifically for twin engines, you'll always find what you need to keep your engine running. Stop by your local shop or dealer and ask for Motool's line of products today.
National Cycle, the motorcycle windshield experts, and the official windshield of American Flat Track. National Cycle makes windshields for almost every bike ever made, and a range of sizes and styles for every rider. National Cycle, the worldwide leader in windshield technology since 1937.
NBCSN is dedicated to serving passionate sports fans. Now in over 83 million homes, the network features motorsports, hockey, soccer, and the Olympic Games. Dunlop is proud to be the official tire of American Flat Track. No other tire company has won more championships than Dunlop. And what we learned from our investment in racing is rolled into our street tires, such as the Dunlop K180, a street-legal version of the aggressive DT3 flat track tire. Dunlop, the official tire of American Flat Track.
No ramp trailers. Eliminate injuries, save time and money, and avoid equipment damage. celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Go to noramp.com to learn more about your equipment transporting needs.
Oakley, the official sunglasses of American Flat Track. Established in 1975 and headquartered in Southern California, Oakley is one of the leading product design and sport performance brands in the world. Oakley has men's and women's product lines that appeal to sports performance, active, and lifestyle consumers like you. Additional information is available at oakley.com, the official sunglasses of American Flat Track.
With over 300 World Championship titles, for 43 years, Öhlins advanced suspension technology has been providing the pinnacle of suspension for all areas of motorsports. For road or track, dirt or asphalt, when you choose Öhlins products to elevate your performance, you get Öhlins USA support and service to keep fueling your passion for excellence. Parts Unlimited, the people behind We Support the Sport, welcome you to this high-action event. We are proud to join with race fans everywhere in working to ensure that our sport gets bigger and more exciting each season. And you too can support the sport by visiting your local dealer who stocks products from Parts Unlimited. They've got the very best in high-performance parts and accessories and the best support network in the business. Parts Unlimited. We support the sport.
Winning at Daytona was huge. It was a new racetrack, so I think adapting to the track was something that's pretty key. To be able to do that better than everyone else feels pretty good.
Briar Bauman wins!
Winning anywhere is big, but being in Daytona is special. This offseason, I spent the whole time in Florida and got to train and just focus on racing. Dick Tibbetts came on board, the Factory Indian team, and helped us out with a lot of heart rate stuff and just trying to focus on keeping calm, not getting excited, and doing your job. Right now, I'm just trying to do the same thing I did in Daytona, and that's go out extremely anxious, try and show that I still have something to prove, and do our thing.
Indian Motorcycle has the addition of the Bauman brothers.
To have Bronson in the pit, I think it's been good for him to see the seriousness that it takes to be competitive at the top level. He wants to win as bad as I do, I know that, and he's going to do everything he can. Hopefully he doesn't do that. I don't want him to do that because that means I'm not, but if anyone else is going to, I'd like it to be him. On race day, it's great. With Shayna, and the surfaces on our racetracks, they're always changing, so just kind of dropping hints saying, hey, the track's doing this, or maybe watch out for that is a plus, it's a benefit for her and I at least. We both want to win, we put a lot into this, and overall it's a good thing for me and it's a good thing for her to both race, be in the same paddock, and be able to help each other grow as racers. There's a lot of racers that are really good on these racetracks, and I've maybe struggled a little bit in the past. My program's great. It's the passion and desire to win through everyone inside the pit. Everyone inside our little area wants to win as bad as I do, so it means a lot to me to know that every weekend they're bringing the same intensity and the same mindset that I do, and it's motivating. I've always put everything into my program that I can, and to have that in return through Factory Indian is great.
Recluse Motorsports, the official clutch of American Flat Track, is the industry leader in clutch technology. Their high-performance clutches are engineered and manufactured in Boise, Idaho. Learn more about their products for off-road and street motorcycles at www.recluse.com.
Roof Systems of Dallas, Texas specializes in installing conventional built-up roofing, as well as thermoplastic and EPDM single-ply roofing systems. A proud supporter of flat track racing, Roof Systems expands its efforts for 2019 by sponsoring 7 riders and entitling the AFT Singles, presented by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys Class.
The Rookies of '79 are former racers and champions of the sport who reunited in 2009 to form the official charity for American Flat Track. 10 years and over $1.7 million raised for our injured racers. Visit rookies79.com to see how you can help. Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. SBS is your single source for brake parts and components, from pads to rotors, shoes, and other important parts, covering motorcycles, scooters, motocross bikes, ATVs, and UTVs. We create the power to stop you so you can go ahead. Find the right parts for your bike at www.sbs.dk. Whether you're headed to the track or just hitting the road, fill up faster with the new Sunoco app. The Sunoco app lets you pay for fuel right from your phone, saving you time. Just launch the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone and search Sunoco. Download today, then just tap, pump, go.
We ride motorcycles because we want to get out there and be free, and we want to enjoy ourselves. And sometimes we want to get to where we need to go for a particular purpose. In order to do that, you really got to maintain your machine correctly, so it will get you there every single time. Motul, the right product to put inside your bike.
National Cycle. We make windshields for your motorcycle and the way you ride. Proudly made in the USA from super tough polycarbonate material and National Cycle's exclusive scratch-resistant quantum hard coating. Enhance your riding experience with a National Cycle windshield. Official windshield of American Flat Track. Made in the USA since 1937.
Over 40 years ago, Russ Brown set out on a mission to help injured riders. We fight for the rights of riders every day because we are riders and we know what you're going through.
If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with just any lawyer. Call 1-800-4BIKERS.
These guys will have your back. If you go down, call Russ Brown.
Motorcycle attorney!
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the original lawyers that ride and the top motorcycle accident team in the country. These guys are tough, experienced, and they will have your back. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies alone. Call 1-800-4BIKERS for free legal advice. Remember, if you go down, call Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys.
Cycle Gear is a proud partner and the official retailer of American Flat Track. You'll find the latest and greatest gear from the brands you love while getting professional service and advice from local gear experts at every Cycle Gear store. With over 140 stores nationwide, there's always a Cycle Gear just around the corner.
Gotham Motorcycles located at 3